What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 14 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Thorgrim Grudgebearer Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Thorgrim has acquired the Damaz Kron, the Great Book of Grudges itself, though admittedly he's been talking about it for the entire campaign and flipping through it in every single one of his quest battles, so I guess he had it all along. But now we have the legendary item equipped to him as well, which is a nice melee attack buff to nearby units, which, considering he does a whole sort of small dwarf box army type thing, is going to work out real nicely, and just generally decent upgrades for him. Granted, he has now lost any ability of regen or heal, which is a bit unfortunate, and I'm not so sure that we have any way to get him to heal unless there's some kind of recovery banner available to the dwarfs, but I don't think I'd lose that. I wouldn't replace the banner of swiftness for the world, so yeah. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, we're looking to wipe out Queek Headtaker, as he is down to 3 settlements. Admittedly, I'm not entirely sure where the third one is, because this is a greenskin settlement here, but, you know, he's got to be around here somewhere. Hopefully he doesn't have some, like, random ruin in the middle of the Badlands or something. More importantly than that, perhaps, we have a bunch of sort of additional stuff that we want to do. Since we have the celebration going right now for 3 turns, this is probably the best opportunity we have to once again confederate, and it's about time we start, pumping up our Slayer numbers, and that means Ungrim is going to be next, and Belagar will leave for last, especially since his main job, which would have been to capture 8 peaks, was done by Thorgrim, and I guess Belagar, once confederated, can start working on the Badlands. Maybe fight Gorbad, maybe take Ekrund, assuming we don't send Thorgrim that way. I still haven't quite decided where we send Thorgrim after we're done here. We gotta reclaim the realms, but this portion can be taken by Ungrim. I guess at least one lord is going to have to travel down here, and we do gotta get to Skavenblight. A, because we have a legendary grudge, and B, because the Skaven are actually growing very, very strong. We can see just how much Skaven corruption is here in Bretonnia. This is all Skaven, and Lord Skrolk is up here as well. This is also all Skaven, so yeah. We may be kicking them out of the World's Edge Mountains, but other territories are going to be in a lot worse shape, so going to be pretty interesting. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? And do we want to move everybody around, or do we want to maybe confederate immediately? Actually, there's 2 things that we want to do. First of all, well, you know what, let's start with the Confederation. I was talking about confederating one of the minor factions, and I guess since they're kind of right beside Ungrim, let's confederate Karak as the start. So we'll do military alliance, and then jump straight into confederation. This faction is pretty much dead anyway, so this doesn't really matter in terms of the sort of double confed. This will give us vision. Join confederation, like so. And I guess we'll immediately check if they got anything good on them. Alright, Karak Confederation, and looks like just the one army, if you can call it that. No heroes or anything. Guess we got a free Quarreler, Grudge Settler unit, and we got a Thane with Drangul on him. Okay, so most likely everybody here will be deleted, minus the Quarrelers. Decent likelihood that we take all of these guys and these guys and just transfer them elsewhere. Probably a good idea that we did this before the faction was destroyed, however, as, well, then we would have lost out on items and on the free units, including a Tormentor's Sword, which would be pretty nice for any of our range-focused armies. I guess where dwarfs are concerned, all range-focused armies are at least somewhat melee as well. Anyway, alright, we gotta probably get rid of the man-eaters out here as well in Gristle Valley, which I notice doesn't have tusks like it does in Immortal Empires, which is a bit unfortunate because I was hoping for more tusks. They do offer a little bit of research, but well, not a big deal. Anyway, that's done. Let's move on to Ungrim, assuming that you don't have any items on you. I did not check, or maybe I did, and I immediately forgot about it within the, half second. Ungrim, Great Book of Grudges. Confederate. And, you know what I probably should have done? Should have seen whether he had an alliance available as well. Probably could have gotten a little bit more cash, but oh well, whatever, not a big deal. Province secured, Peak Pass, Desolation of Drakenmoor, and that's it? Really? You're only holding... Huh, yeah, so I guess your main territory, and then the Desolation of Drakenmore, which is half a territory. Alright, let's deal with this. Gonna be a little bit of admin to start this episode off, but generally the nature of the game when we have confederations. Ungrim! You're heavily damaged, and you're probably running from the Iron Skins here, eh? Well, you're a Slayer King. You do not run. Go to Rib Peaks, and if these guys declare war on us, and if they should decide to attack the place, then you will defend. Alrighty, and what do we have in terms of his army? Oh! We got some Slayers and some Slayer parts. You know what we could do? These guys are pretty high level. I think they look like they've earned their stripes. Giant Slayers and Doomseekers. And there we go. Also, let's take a quick look at Mr. Ungrim here. Oh my lord, AI, what are you doing? It didn't even give him Grimnir's heirs to buff Slayers, or obviously his unique line, but the AI never does. Obviously he's going to need a reset pretty much immediately. I think we'll wait the one turn in case these guys attack, but yeah. Ungrim. Man. You have a Slayer ward. I've been missing these, been wanting a few of them in our own armies. You also have the Slayer Crown available to you, but we have 2 more quests out of you. That's nice. That's a lot more bonus control that we can make good use of when we need to. Between these quests and the quests available to Grumbrindle, which we still have 2 of, we should be able to, undebuff the Confederations, etc. I don't know why I said it like that, but anyway. You know what? Drop the Slayer Crown for now. Grab the Helm of Dreska. Might as well. Everybody's doing it. You may as well. Also grab a Razor Standard while you're at it. And there's probably other stuff. Runes, I haven't been, doing too much over the course of the campaign, mostly because we've been saving our... I have a Grudge Keeper. We've been saving our stuff, our Oath Gold, for other purposes. Do you have any heroes? You do. And does this hero have anything? You have, you're Karaki, so that's not so bad. Your skills are kind of, I'll admit, but not so horrible that we have to, well, actually Wardbreaker will come in handy, and Forge Fire. Nah, alright, you're fine. I'm sure he'll be fine. And you can, I guess, stick around. Now, that can't be the only army, or else we wouldn't have lost 10,000 gold per turn. Oh, okay, I see. One here, one here, one here. Oh, wow, okay, wait. Starting with you. You're gonna join up with Ungrim, so move back away from the rat place. I guess he was fighting the rats as well. What do you have on you? Ducky, which is kind of terrible. Let's lose the Choir Master and the Slayer Ward. You have Garaki, which is kind of meh as well, and frankly, Dragon Slayers are kind of meh in general. I mean, I guess it'll enable to reposition fast, but I don't know whether Ungrim's gonna need another one of these guys. Once again, the problem with the Dragon Slayers and just in general is that they don't buff Slayers, as odd as that is. Skink heroes buff Skinks for the lizards. The Dwarf Slayers don't buff Slayers. Maybe because a Dragon Slayer and a Demon... Well, no, but then the Demon Slayer buffs Slayers. I was about to say, maybe they look to a Dragon Slayer as someone not to emulate, in the sense of, this is a Slayer that has failed, and in terms of dying, because the oath isn't actually to kill something, the oath is to die trying to kill something, right? And you haven't died, so yeah, maybe that's why you don't buff the other Slayers. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going through this. What are you? Innovator. Decent trait. I'm just not so sure that it'll be of any use in any of these armies. Anyway, that's you two. I saw another army up here, and another... Direction, success chance, coordinated carnage, not horrible. I don't know that we need or will use this many of the Dragon Slayers. They're probably fairly cheap, though. Actually, 170, a little bit more expensive than I would have thought. Oh, wow, we have a lot of Slayers here. Oh, okay, we can just transfer all of these to Ungrim. Fantastic. All right, well, that worked out. What do you have, Elmador Redex? You have another Slayer Ward, which you can hold on to, but lose the rest of the stuff. We will transform it or turn it into more useful stuff. And oh, you have Snorri Nosebiter with you. That's nice. Enemy leadership -10 for all troll units. That's kind of hilarious, but it's such a niche thing that I feel like it's not a very useful trait. If anything, if you're gonna go massively niche like this, you should probably increase the ability. Like, maybe make it -20 leadership for trolls, or debuff the trolls, or something. Like, if you're going to be specifically against one unit that there's no guarantee that you ever run into, yeah. Anyway. Looks like Snorri knows better, doesn't seem to have any kind of specific traits to buff Slayers either, but I guess that makes sense, because he's a Slayer hero, and Slayer heroes don't buff Slayers. Oh, he does have Join My Legend, though. Weapon strength +15 when attacking. Between him and Garagrim, who I guess we're going to have to start moving north now. And we should be able to deal. Alrighty, yeah, you can lose your items and stuff. We'll give you other items as we go. Engineer, what do we have here? Ooh, another Wayfarer. Okay, I know what I'm doing with you. I'll lose all the items, including the Jewelsmith. And we are going to rename you to Tech Thief, and we're going to use you as a Tech Thief. He's a level 15. He should definitely come in handy here. Alright, sorry about the admin, but, you know, Confederation needs must and all that. It'll be worth it to get Ungrim and his melee fighting slayers on field, as opposed to Malachi's range slayers and the sort of little bit of dual action goblin heroes we got in our Axe Storm army. Anyway, reset your skill points. Wait. Yeah, okay, reset your skill points. Like so. And then, I guess we could pop you into the army temporarily. Also, you go into the settlement. And we have another Dragon Slayer, which has as cool, so the Executioner trait, meaning we have to delete you because it's probably going to cause desyncs. Which is a shame, but oh well. Well, we should have plenty of Slayers to be getting along with. Anyway, that's it. Oh, actually, that's not it. I saw another one here. Sundrim Cromson, what do you have? Cross country, terrible. Take the Slayer Ward, most definitely. Lose the Iron Curse icon, and then your hero can... Yeah, still needs Bloodline. Alright, might keep you. Let's at least get rid of your items, and then let's swap you into this army. And then you, we can delete. Goodbye, sir. Don't cost us any more cash. Akka the Forgotten. I would never forget Akka. And Coadil and the Nemesis Crown. Ooh, that's a nasty army. Just Coadil and the Nemesis Crown and another Malevolent Ancient Tree Man. Between the two. Huh. What if he can reach Burundan Stoneheart? Alright, Burundan, let's get rid of all your stuff. And yeah, another Slayer Ward and a Dwarf Bride. Alright, at least we're getting some good ancillaries because we've been hankering for a few. And you have Vengeful, which is decent. In fact, we may put you to use, Burundan Stoneheart. What do you have here? You got some traits, nothing crazy. You do got body counter, additional HP. This is obviously horrific, but that's the AI for you. And you're level 16, which is pretty solid. I'm inclined to say we should reset you and... Okay, wait, we gotta figure out how to do this. Well, I guess... you know what? I really don't want this guy dying. Because he's a rank 16 lord with a decent trait. Okay, wait, let's figure this out. First of all, let's get rid of all this stuff. And then, what do you have? Zaki? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Zaki is a nice one as well. More magic items to be found. What do you have? Another Wayfarer, so potentially another Tech Thief if we have a spare, although I don't know whether we have room for 3 Tech Thieves at the current time, and then that's the last guy. Alrighty, I think what we'll want to do here, let me just see here. If we take a look at our regular lords, we have this guy who's rank 8 and is Vengeful. Too bad we don't have any spare Demon Slayers, because I wouldn't mind them dying. This guy is Bolgi, which I also don't care for. Granted, he costs more than the High Lord, but... he has a worse trait, although the unit mass, maybe for holding the line, but it seems vastly inferior to one of the other traits that we have, so I don't see the, I don't really see the appeal. And I actually like the Vengeful trait on these guys because of, well, there's a bunch of nice stuff. The Silverhorn of Vengeance, the melee attack for heroes, the armor destruction, solid trait. Alright, so here's what we'll do. We're gonna use Burundan Stoneheart later. Is he the Lord of Zufbar? He might be, but we're going to turn you into... King Azrael, the Silver Hammer. Get him up and running at rank 16. And you know what? This is probably the time where we should start getting his army up and running as well. So, since we're moving north and all that, let's get the Bolgi guy. If you die, you die. If you don't, you don't. Let us... Oh, you were never reset. Might have been a Confederated Lord. Alright, well, we'll reset you before we send you off anyway. Let's get you Invoke Runes of Grungni in this particular army, if it can be called an army. I really wouldn't want to lose the grudge throwers and flame cannons, though, so yeah, that would be unfortunate. Let's get you Rune of Speed, Rune of Oath and Steel, and Rune of Wrath and Ruin. And we'll see if anybody here attacks you. I'd say solid likelihood that the rats attempt this. And we'll see. No major loss if any of those guys die. Now, since we got some Slayer wards, we should apply them to the Slayers that need them. You will... Okay, no, we're looking in the wrong place. We'll turn those items into better items in a bit. You will go Slayer ward. Technically speaking, Dwinbar here is going to be commanding this army, so you can have the Slayer ward, and then we'll give the last one to Malachi McKyson, who has nearly got his army up and running now. I think one more turn of recruit, well, actually 2 turns of recruitment, but nearly there. Alright, that fixes our situation a little bit, but a loss of 10,000 gold per turn is still... It's still pretty massive, so yeah, we're gonna have to try to deal with that. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to do was this. Rearguard Helldower, go here. Braun Hammerfist, go here. Like so. There's a reason I'm doing this, trust me. Rearguard Helldower, you're gonna get the Dwarf Bride and another point in Mason. If I can find somewhere here. Not the Dwarf and Tattooist, Dwarf Bride, there we go. And we're gonna pop you into Pillars of Grunny. Braun Hammerfist, you're going to help recruitment, but we'll actually get the... Let's say Skeggy Threxen here. On field, right now. Somewhat temporarily, but right now. And, oh. I was hoping you had free points, but you don't. Huh. Well, that didn't work out nearly as well as I was hoping it would work out, but nonetheless, we'll reset you in a bit. Let's get your Root Marcher. And then we're going to use you to recruit and transfer to Thorgrim 2 Everguard and I believe 1 Gyro Bomber, unless I'm mistaken. We just need to be able to actually recruit them, as in pay for them. Where's Thorgrim? Let me just see here. 1 second. We'll get into a fight shortly, guys. Don't worry. Once again, beginning of a confederation. Needs must. Okay, so yeah, we have the gyrocopters of brimstone guns, which are going to become gyro bombers. We need 1 more gyro bomber, and then 1 of each kind of the Everguard with him. He's going to lose Garagrim, and probably 1 of the runesmiths shortly as well. Yes. And the rest of that I'm reasonably happy with for now. Okay, so to get the... I guess we're gonna have to do it next turn, aren't we? We probably won't have the money this turn. Depending on if we can get them from fighting. We need 6.6k to get either Gromrel Hafts or to get Golden Statue of Grugny. Bolstered attack, I'm gonna say bolstered defense. Especially because it'll help the hammers a little bit more. Plus the... melee attack for High Lord's probably a little bit more valuable than for Thanes. Maybe. They're both fine, really. Yeah, anyway, that'll be fine. What we need to do is acquire that money, and as to how, we're gonna have to wait and see. Wait. I assume those guys take 2 turns to recruit? 3 turns to recruit, oh. I was gonna say, maybe we should start on the gyro bombers, but, you know what? That'll give us time to actually reset this guy and get another guy up and running, so we'll reset you. Like so. If he's not recruiting this turn anyway, we'll get another Lord. Might as well not pay the 250 for him, and he'll come in handy later. Alright, let's start moving everybody. Snorri Morgrimmel, you, we're looking to move southward and move down to fight Arbball. Like so. Then we're gonna need Dwinbar to take 1 of your Slayers.
Ready to do the guild's bidding.
And I don't know, should it be the damaged one or the undamaged one? Well, I guess it depends on who gets attacked. I guess it doesn't really matter. And then that will make room for an engineer in your army. We will need another one, but we have summoned all the engineers that were available to us. And oh, because of the Confederation, we don't have additional engineer capacity. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to look for more engineers. Alright, and you're gonna move in. And Arbball's right here. Okie dokie. Ooh. Oh, that's an interesting army. He's got tons of Corngors and Forsaken. Kind of similar units to each other in some ways, in the sense that they're both fast-moving and sort of high-mid armor. Solid armor piercing on the great axes of the Khorne Gors versus the non-armor piercing but super high weapon strength on those frickin' Forsaken. 72! They hit harder than hammerers. I mean, damn. All right, that should be pretty interesting. Let's get ready for it. Slayers to me, upkeep reduction, and Venerate Grimnir, of course, for further upkeep reduction, melee attack, and missile resistance, army-wide. Master Engineer, the new guy. You need to go into Deadeye in order to get ballistics calibration, break open the casks, flash bomb, and then let's get one of each in terms of triangulation and requisition. A little bit of ammo for the Goblin Hewers, a little bit of damage for everybody. Dragon Slayer, you should probably have Follower of Grimnir. Yeah, Follower of Grimnir. Might as well lean further into the weapon strength and increase the amount of damage you got. Could get you a little bit more mass so that you have an easier time moving through stuff, though I think maybe get the part to hit first and then we'll go through that. You, Brawn Can Doom, let's get you Esteemed Combatant as there's a decent likelihood we'll get attacked, so we want the additional melee defense. And then lastly, Scully Redbeard, our runesmith, our resident runesmith. You're gonna grab... I'm gonna say Ward Breaker here. A missile resistance reduction. Cornates might have some... actually they do not. Wow, they don't have any missile resistance. The Chaos Warhounds do, but nobody else does. Okay, well, that was... should have checked what the Cornates had first. Anyway, Morgus Death Dealer, you... Let's go through Forge Fire. Let's get Rune of Slowness. Damping doesn't really do anything for us here. Let's get another point of Rune of Wrath and run into Forge Fire so that we can get the armor and armor-piercing weapon damage reduction nearby, and then get both Rune of Hearth and Home and Ward Breaker. So that we have the vigor per second, the immunity to psychology will be valuable, charge resistance, and then again spell and missile resistance. I guess the spell resistance will help against these guys, the reductions. Because we'll be able to then hit them with a nice overcast Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Assuming these guys survive, should be an interesting fight. If next turn. I guess as soon as we end the turn, we're gonna run into 2 fights, which should be pretty fun. Because these guys gotta fight as well against the piles of Skaven. Rearguard doesn't need to move. Thungni of Zorn, you certainly do. Let's buff up Axelord temporarily. We are going to not have you be leading this army shortly, but for now. We're going to declare war on the Red Maw to complete our territory. And, ooh, Goldtooth's not gonna like this. I was hoping to be friendly with them, maybe acquire some of those lead belchers, but oh well. Chain of Jar.
Honor to your ancestors.
We'll join war against the Red Maw like so. And give us a little bit of money. Not enough to get the Everguard up and running, though. And I think you, because of your lack of Thane, won't be able to do anything here. Let's go to Black Fang. Like so. Quick save it as usual. And occupy it. Alright, a little bit of XP, a little bit of occupy, and our province is complete, but the game will crash, but at least I remembered the quick save this time. Alright, well, once again, be right back. Alrighty, let's try that again on a resolve, and it's never failed twice in a row, at least, yeah, once you restart the game, it doesn't seem to crash. Alright, well, we wanted this province, we're certainly going to pick it up, Masters of Steel and Stone, and Path to the East secured. Nice. Well done, Thungni of Zorn. We'll keep you in your current state for now. Let's get another point in Axelord while we're at it. Oh. You reach rank 10. Oh, right, you're a Slayer Lord, not a regular Dwarf Lord. Alright, fine. We'll move down to Slave Taker's Camp and most likely trade it to these Bretonnians. If we're going to keep them around, we may as well, keep them around. And maybe acquire some of their units. They're taking up to tier 5 after all. So if we want something like Pegasus Knights, or frankly, Questing Knights actually work quite nicely with Slayers in terms of both how they function in game and both how they are in the lore, so certainly potential there. Anyway, yeah. Plus it's another additional little trading partner. It's not like we're looking to necessarily claim all the Mountains of Morn in particular. Anyway, let's see. Alright, as I was saying, Thugny of Zorn, this army we're going to keep as it is, going to keep racking up a little bit of XP while we're at it, and we're going to evolve this into a generalist army led by a Rune Lord later on, with lots of different types of units. A little bit of melee, a little bit of range, different kinds of melee, different kinds of range, different kinds of artillery, just a nice sort of mix of stuff. We've had a lot of fun with some of those armies in the early game, and I do want at least one late game version of them, or of it. Anyway, Finn, okay, no, you're good. I now lost my place again. Thorak, you're stuck where you are because you gotta wait one more turn to get the construction reductions down, and it might actually be the end of the turn. Alright, we have 3.6k. Certainly not enough, then, to recruit this turn. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. I guess we can skip, and damage building where? Oh. Yeah, Karak Guntuk, you are highly likely to be destroyed by the Skaven, so we're just going to ignore you for now. And outpost available, we can't afford it. I mean, Arson Revivalists are the only ones we need an outpost with right now. We just don't have enough allegiance with anybody else to, you know, make good use of it as yet, but our allegiance is rising, so it'll get there. Anyway, let's end the turn. I'm 100% sure we're going to get attacked in at least one place, maybe two. Oh, commandment available. Oh, I didn't do the commandments in correct quadrant. You know what? Get rid of this in Hell Cave. We can keep the Toolmaker's Workshop, I think. Go for the Masters of Steel and Stone. We probably don't need the clan barracks here, but again, I don't necessarily want to remove a lot of the buildings yet, because they provide additional garrison troops, and it might be easier, more helpful in terms of wiping out the Iron Skins at a Grand Peak. Anyway, I believe that's it. Now we can end the turn. And I guess since the likelihood of us getting attacked is, well, extremely high, I'd say... Oh, there it is. Alright, fine. Before we get started, engagement threshold not quite reached yet, but very, very close to it, or at least we're trending towards it. So that's fine. I'm going to assume it'll get reached within the next hour or so anyway. And the engagement threshold remains 300 likes, 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour adjacent. I haven't been houring so much in this campaign next time as well. Anyway, Arbball the Undefeated should be an interesting fight, a very interesting fight. A little bit annoying that he's attacking Dwinbar rather than Snorri here, but a smart move on his part, I suppose. It does deprive us of the +2 armor-piercing weapon damage that we would have gotten via the Thane's buff, doesn't it? Rude. Oh well, let's do it. Alright, here we go. Looks like this is going to be an interesting one. I mean, the Forsaken versus our units. Forsaken are actually very similar to Slayers in that they are very high weapon strength, high melee attack, basically no melee defense, but the Forsaken have one thing going for them the Slayers don't have, and it's that they are medium heavy armored, and you can get them up to heavy armored if you sort of invest into it. So they've got, what, 8 to 10 times as much armor as Slayers do, so despite their fragility, they can rely on that. Speaking of fragility, the enemy summoned a unit of Bloodletters of Khorne, just a regular basic summon, and they are kind of tearing through our unit of Slayers, not exactly by choice, I'll admit, as these Slayers are in Rampage due to that feral rage. Not much we can do about that. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Very likely that these units might be destroyed due to the feral rage, as they'll just keep fighting until they die. Getting a little bit of support from Mr. Dwinbar Ranulfson here, though him we can actually get off the map as he'll just withdraw. As for why we're fighting here, well, our main reinforcing line is going to arrive over on this side with all of our units, while these guys have been separated and getting attacked by those summons. A minute and 21 seconds until we got the reinforcements coming in to help, and it looks like now Mr. Ranulfson is going to get surrounded by those Bloodletters. I don't believe he has that explosion ability that we've given our other guild masters so far. so we can't just kill off all of these bloodletters. Although as to whether they can catch him and kill him easily, I'm not so sure, because he does still have heavy armor. Alright, in the meantime, the main stack has arrived. We're going to start the day with our single grudge thrower in this army, trying to drop a few of those massive impact, or whatever it is. Monstrous impact? I'm going to say monstrous impact. It is monstrous impact on those enemies. And the shrapnel shots as well, so should be pretty decently effective here. Until the enemy moves in. Speaking of, it looks like the first of the enemies is a unit of Chaos Warriors of Khorne who are trying to get around us. But the Axe Storm should bring them down. That said, they were serving as a distraction for the enemy Khorngors, which do manage to make it through the trees and towards our line. Really could use that extra little bit of range. Arbball is going to move in, though he is by himself, and he's going to have a little bit more of an issue. One, because he's a big old target. Two, because we're going to slow him down with Flash Bomb and drop him down to 24 speed. And three, it's just too many axes, and he'll disappear. All that HP for nothing. He got killed so fast that I had to slow it down because he just disappeared off field. Anyway, here come the enemies. Ooh, and it looks like they'll charge on. They will get another Bloodletter summon on top of our Goblin Hewers, which hit them a few times and thereafter force them into Feral Rage. And now, fortunately, the artillery crews can actually fight. But yeah, more and more of our units will start going into Feral Rage very quickly. Just gonna try to get as many axes off before our entire line is forced to fight in that manner. Blood Beasts of Khorne have arrived, together with the Khorngors. Nice combination from the AI. And we'll see if we can pull this off. We can't really be using too many of our axes due to that Feral Rage screwing us over a little bit, and it's certainly going to be a little bit dangerous, similar to what happened to those Grudge Settler units. I believe they managed to escape off the battle map, but with only like 6 units remaining, so I think they might be dead. I think 6 units is not enough to survive. 8 units would have survived. I think maybe even 7 might have survived if they have 80 total. I don't remember if they have 80 total, but if they do, then that would be the case. We should have our own couple of units of Slayers here, and yeah, they do have 80 total. And yeah, 10% definitely survives. I do wonder whether 7 would have survived, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see at the end. Anyway, these Slayers, just like the rest are in the fight, whether they be the Goblin Hewer variant or the regular variant. And against the Khorngors, they're doing decently well. Khorngors have 58 weapon strength, but their armor piercing is going to waste here because our units are relatively unarmored. Managed to back off at least one of the Goblin Hewers, and now getting a few of those axe volleys into the blobs of enemies, but it looks like our center and right flank are having a little bit of a tough time at this point. The enemy's left flank, however, is on the verge of collapse, and, well, the center is still in the fight, so it's probably even. Left flank is ours, right flank is more or less theirs, with 3 units routing, and the center, as I said, still fighting. Fortunately, though, we're targeting and hunting down their single entities. Our Dragon Slayer here has found the enemy Herald of Khorne. That brought up the rear with the reinforcing army, and will probably be brought down rather shortly. Like so, down goes the Herald, similar to what happened to Arbball. Well, just bigger axes, I suppose. Marauders of Khorne here, probably not going to have too effective a time. Alright, now we're going to start booking it on out of there. And some of our units are rallying after all that Feral Rage forced them into the fight. Fortunately, it looks like we do manage to pull this one off as the enemy begin to shatter and run. Couple other units are still moving towards us, but I think they're just waiting for proximity. And what is this effect that we keep seeing? Some kind of coronate effect, I take it? It's not from crippled, is it? Let's see if it disappears once crippled is gone. They have so many effects going on them at once that I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it's probably this thing. Fury of the Skull Throne. Huh, I swear I saw that on multiple units. Well, either way, and oh, hello, they have a, they still had a Chaos Spawn here. All right, fair enough. Chaos Spawn, big old meatball, gonna move on in, spin to win, and mow down at least a few of those Rangers. That said, we're gonna pin it in place with Thane and with Dragon Slayer. And Demon Slayer as well, and then the meatball goes tumbling down. And with that, I do believe the battle is finally ours. A very close call. Arbball probably should have waited to commit himself before moving in, but I suppose in some ways the sacrifice of the Slayers on this side of the map, while they were alone, they met their doom and fulfilled their oaths, but what they also did was force the AI to essentially break its cohesion. Admittedly, Khorne probably shouldn't have that much cohesion anyway, but once you're engaged, the entire enemy army ran towards us, and Arbball, being the fastest element of his own army, reached us first, and thus got obliterated by the Axe Storm within like half a second, which was pretty neat. Alright, there we go. Arbball himself got obliterated as he was trying to run in and got hit by approximately 800 axes in about 2 seconds, so he had no chance, but the rest of the enemy army was able to close the distance and dish out plenty of damage. Hardly surprising, as that Feral Rage ability is infuriating, and it's particularly difficult to deal with, again, in, you know, all or mostly ranged armies. This one, fortunately, is a hybrid army, so it can sort of do both, and thus was still able to fight the enemy off. But a Pyrrhic victory, and the loss of the Grudge Settler Slayer army, or the unit, that started on the other side of the map, since our reinforcements didn't come in on that side. Not a big deal, I suppose. Out of all the Grudge Settler units, if we were going to lose one, it was the Slayers. They were actually close to the edge of the map and could have been, you know, gotten off field, but because of the Feral Rage and the fact that it lasts 45 seconds, the super fragile Slayers run in and get themselves killed, and you can't withdraw them to keep them alive. Oh well, and not a big deal. It's not like we need a huge amount of them with Thorgrim. They're probably better off using the Grudge Settler variants rather than the basic variants for him in terms of his, you know, basic troops. Anyway, a decent bit of gold for that, 3.3k, and a bit of money as well. Damage-wise, at 15k, the manual Goblin Hewers carry the day again. Huh. Oh, good job. They certainly like hacking things away manually, because they seem to be doing well in these particular situations. 42k damage on the axe delivery system, vastly outdoing all of the unnamed Goblin Hewers as well. Pretty darn impressive, and damaging the Grudge Throwers. Granted, that means it was, you know, chucking their axes, and then once they were done with that, they were meleeing the enemies. So, yeah, lovely fight. Alright, and Moors will indeed sally out. It says close victory and casualties low, but I think we will fight this. They've got lots of artillery in their second army and plenty of elites, including a Hellpit Abomination and, well, just generally lots of elites. Plus, they have 3 warp bombs available to them, which is going to be very nasty for a lot of our units. 2 uses of Menace below, 3 Moors Clan Stones. I think the auto-resolve is underestimating the Skaven, and you should really never underestimate the rats. Now, what's the likelihood that we kill them all and thus are able to immediately capture? So I'm gonna say it's pretty low, but we'll quick save it just in case. I mean, we'll try, who knows, maybe Weight of Fire will be sufficient. I doubt it, but, you know, maybe the enemy will blow themselves up with the warp bombs, which would be pretty on brand. Anyway, should be a fun fight. Go. Alrighty, here we go, sending some goblins, the enemies, away with the huge range on the Grudge Throwers in this particular army, at least until they eventually get replaced by cannons. Fire away. best we can, and we are going to be targeting those enemy warp lightnings, which we outrange by a decent bit. They are at 500 range, so warp lightning is pretty insane range as well, but unfortunately for them, they've only got 4 models, and we should be able to bring them down rather quick with rock and with Gobbo strapped to said rock. And the rats will go flying, and the warp lightning cannons will be brought down, leaving only the artillery crew. Still, they've got 2 more units of plate clock catapults, and they have 8 pieces of artillery as well. But they do have to approach for a little bit longer than the warp lightnings did, having slightly shorter range. We got 52 seconds until our reinforcements arrive, and by the looks of it, they should be getting here long before the enemy army is able to move on in. Cannon, you able to fire at the enemy, or are you just sitting there? They might be having a difficult time actually identifying the enemy to fire upon because, yeah, there's a lot of sort of hills, and the artillery may be sort of hidden by them. Well, even if that's the case, the grudge throwers seem to be doing okay, and as the enemy move closer to us, they'll most likely be drawn in range of the cannon. Yeah, I can see why the cannon can't fire at this yet. It's all good. They'll get there eventually. Oh, that might have been a cannon. No, that was another grudge thrower fire. Alright, I'm gonna take a little bit of work like this, but not to worry. Surely, one by one, the plate clock catapults will go down, though by the looks of it, they might be able to actually draw in range, at least some of them. 400 range it may be, but it is still plenty. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit as they draw closer and as we get our army on the field. Unlike the last time we fought with this particular army, we actually have to take this battle seriously, so we got a proper formation going, and we do wait for our reinforcements to arrive. So, the way that we've got is the simple, basic checker thing, and go in with our Thunderers in between our melee units. Our basic melee units, the Miners and the Dwarf Warriors, will be hidden behind the Hammerers. Hammerers may not be shielded, but they are heavily armored enough and, you know, healthy enough that the enemy's going to have a difficult time bringing them down. Our left flank will be protected by a pile of Longbeards, and there is impassable terrain here, so we can make use of that and fight the enemy in the trees as well. Anyway, looks like the first of the enemy artillery shots are going to come down and start targeting us. Fallen just a little bit short, but the ranging shots do tend to fall short, so there is that. Our Thunderers are thundering away as well. Armor-piercing missile damage may be wasted from the regular Thunderers on the Plague Monks, but that's alright. They've got, well, I guess they don't have a lot of too heavily armored units anyway. You gotta love sort of imperial formations, generally speaking. Cathay, Empire, Dwarfs, Kislev, they sort of do this type of thing. I always really enjoy it. And all the combined arms that these factions have got going, and another reason why their units tend to work together well with each other. Still gotta get a couple of those Cathay war drums if we can manage it. And the enemy uses its first bomb, but it looks like the first warp bomb does nothing as the enemy manages to explode right before reaching us. Slash giggle. And here come the rats. I love seeing those grudge rakers fire through the gaps in our lines as the hammerers bring those hammers down on the rats' heads. And, oh, it looks like the Hell Pit Abomination is now on the approach. That's going to be a little bit more difficult to defend. Gonna try to burninate those Death Globes and Poison Winds in the meantime with our Flame Cannon, which probably could have brought down the Abomination, but we really needed those Death Globes and such gone. Abomination has arrived, enemies dropping Warp Lightning all over the place, as one does. But we are still holding pretty well, and pretty much none of our units of Grudge Rakers, rather, are busy, or by busy I mean engaged with enemy melee, so they're still working. Hell Pit Abomination moving through the Smoke Bomb, and going to send some of the units of Hammerers towards it, and that we have been keeping in reserve for the course of the battle, as one of our other units that were holding it back is damaged, and we can even send some Slayers its way as well. They are anti-large after all, and every little bit helps, and gotta bring the Abomination down. I also love seeing dwarf armies fight from the sort of top view. They do pretty good job at maintaining their formations when you fight in formations, so that always looks pretty neat. Especially against sort of disorderly armies like the Skaven and any other sort of hordish enemy. Anyway, Helped Abomination down to about half HP, but having dealt about 15 kills against the Hammerers is pretty darn solid. And those are units of Grudge Settlers, so they won't be healing up. And much as I hate to cheer for the rats, I've always loved the Helped Abomination. I still think it's the most horrific looking unit in the game in the best way possible. Like, this thing is way more horrifying than any demonic unit that we have, and that's just fantastic. Ooh, and it looks like together with the Abomination, the the Doom Wheel, Helped Abomination, Doom Pit Abomination and Hellwheel. There we go. Gotta remember to name those next time I play Skaven. Anyway, the Doom Wheel has arrived and has finally broken through our lines and managed to move into the back line, distracting our units of Thunderers and preventing them from firing upon it. Still, the Doom Wheel is reasonably fragile, and Hammerers and Slayers should be able to catch it. And the Hellpit Abomination goes down at last in the press of Dwarfs. The balance of power shifts to about 70% in our favor, and though the battle is still going, and it's quite impressive. It has been a lot of rats, admittedly, so perhaps not surprising, and I do mean a lot of rats. Look what's going on in the trees over on the left flank. Those two units of Longbeards are, well, they're working overtime today. But they've been holding all of these rats back and doing their jobs quite well. Our artillery pieces have managed to maintain range superiority at this point, by and large against enemy Skaven Slave Slingers and such, but that's only after the enemy units of the Death Globes and Poison Winds, the critical to kill units, were critically killed. Alright, and that Doom Wheel still being very, very annoying, and we just have too many other things to fire upon to deal with it immediately. And we are still very much in the fight against the Storm Vermin and the more elite elements of the enemy melee troops. Still nice to see the Slayers fight in these armies. Not always possible, or not always optimal, I should say. Always possible, not always optimal. And let's see, how's that Doom Wheel looking? Down to about 25% of its HP now, and will actually break and attempt to run out of the army. Oh, hopefully we can actually bring that thing down rather than allowing it to escape. Not that it'll matter over much. Alright, well, we will try to maybe turn some of our range units to deal with it. Speaking of range units, still in a bit of a range shootout. Ooh, and here comes another Warp Bomb, and that time, that was a decent hit, damaging heavily our Dwarf Warriors, and a little bit on the Hammerers, and this other Hammer unit as well. That said, I do believe that was their third and final Warp Bomb, so they're not going to have any more to rely upon. Still a few enemy range units plinking away at us with those endless slings of theirs, and heck, we've seen them do damage in numbers before when they nearly killed off Thorgrim's Thunder Barge, or at least brought it down to about a quarter of its HP. So sheer volume of fire in terms of these slings can't be underestimated. With that, however, with the slingers broken, the enemy lords broken, it looks like the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours at last. Certainly a bit of damage on our front line, probably a little bit more on our main stack, but with the Grudge Settler army helping out, we didn't have too much of a problem. Very nice fight. Alright, a very nice fight. It looks like the Longbeards that were all the way at the very edge of the left flank managed to get the most kills. We did take pretty severe damage on at least one unit of Hammers and a little bit more on a couple of others, mostly due to the enemy Warp Bombs. Kill count-wise, we can see that while the Doom Wheel managed to rack up 26, and the Censor Bearers did, well, the most elite units, basically, that the enemy had, 17 on the Hellpit Abomination. The Clan Rats and the other, well, the Clan Rats and the Skaven Slaves, hardly surprisingly, didn't do much. A little bit of work out of the Storm Vermin, though the Death Runners achieved not enough to get a single kill. Really fun fight, but damn those damn warp bombs to the depths of the magma caverns, to the deepest depths of the magma caverns. Anyway, I guess we'll replenish? I mean, this is basically nothing. I mean, I guess it's 200 oath golds, better than nothing, and we'll be able to auto-resolve this anyway. Yeah, fine, fine. Too bad that this doesn't provide us additional XP, but it's all good. Execute and loot for the oath gold. And oh my, Sarthoriel will actually attack Grimly. I'm very pleasantly surprised. I wasn't actually expecting him to try. I was expecting him to run. Well, well, well. Let's see how the bolt throwers do against Sarthoriel. He's got that barrier protecting him, and lots of blue fire spam, I'm sure. Perhaps not to the degree of Karaz. Ooh, Gehenna's Golden Hounds and Searing Doom. That's gonna be nasty as well. The cockatrices we have to watch out for, who have that petrifying gaze of theirs. Basically can't move away from them. That's a very, very strong speed debuff, isn't it? Alright, I think this will be another really fun fight. Oh, do you get a defeat trait for Sarthoriel? Well, I guess you probably don't. He's kind of like a pseudo-legendary lord, like Boris and like the Red Duke, isn't he? Well, anyway, go. Alrighty, here we go, Grimly Coral Seeker, one of the legends back in action once more, and against Sarthoriel and the Everwatcher this time. I'm still not sure whether the other Zinchian factions have access to the changing of the ways like Kairos does, like whether Sarthoriel does or not, but, you know, it's generally, in my opinion, safer to just declare war immediately on any Zinchian faction you come into contact with, so that there's a guarantee that they can't at least swap your settlements to theirs, and there's, I guess, a limit on the changing of the ways. Anyway, Sarthoriel and the rest of his army are going to move towards us, but like Skarbrand, they're going to run afoul of our various units of bolt throwers. Magical damage dealing, and pretty good in terms of their range as well. 425 is pretty decent. They do still outrange, just barely, but do still outrange, for example, Plague Claw catapults, and nothing in the Zinchian arsenal can hit us this far, except possibly some, blue fires, maybe? I'm just waiting for Sarthoriel to actually cast. Alright, well, in the meantime, all of our units of bolt throwers are going to target Sarthoriel. One of these is probably not going to be sufficient in terms of way to fire if he's just moving. However, with all four of them firing away at him, he's rapidly going to lose about half of his HP, and he's still got a long way to go. And there's really nothing he can do. All he can do is try to dodge or try to back off. Ooh, I gotta remember to get that Flaxen's Rune of Seeking up and running using Oath Gold. Just that we have so many uses for Oath Gold that it's not super critical that we get runes for our armies. Anyway, with that, Sarthoriel crashes to the ground below, defeated. But it looks like as soon as he dies, he gives us a parting shot, or at least maybe one of his minions, with a Searing Doom dropping upon our units of Grimly's Grumbling Guard. And next will be the Cockatrices as the targets. There are two of them, though it looks like on the right flank this one is already arrived, together with a unit of Centaurs of Zinch. Haven't had the chance to use Centaurs of Zinch myself as yet, so excited to try those guys out, and especially their SFO versions. And as soon as we get our Zinch campaign up and running again. Alright, well, yeah. Anyway, Cockatrices have landed, or at least one has landed. The other one, I do believe, will have been petrified, self-petrified, and crashed to the ground below, as three of the units were targeting it. Here come the enemy blue fires, and together with the blue fires, the arrival of the chaos spawn of Zinch. The Zinchian spawn are super numerous, which kind of makes sense. SFO chooses to give them by far the most numbers with 24 monstrous infantry. They are smaller, but they're more numerous. And Zinch being, you know, the changer and the sort of mutator, the great mutator, makes sense that he has a higher number of spawn in his units. Not as horrifying as Hell Pit Abominations, perhaps, but still reasonably horrifying. Anyway, lots and lots of Chaos Spawn on our front lines, but the Grumbling Guard, together with the other units of Longbeards, are holding. Cockatrice still in the fight over on the right flank, but is having a fairly bad time against the Thane, who has arrived to see it off. Grimly has defeated the enemy exalted hero of Zinch, with basically having taken no damage himself. But Grimly's got pretty solid stats even without any red line buffs. Pink and blue fire, pink and blue horrors keep dropping pink and blue fires down upon us, though, as we are continuing to have to fight the enemy melee, though the crossbows or the quarrelers are now focusing the enemy range units down and slowly but surely whittling their numbers away. And I was earlier making the remark, well, not this episode, but a previous episode, that Thorek's army, with its quarrelers and grudge throwers, would probably not be super effective against Zinch, because, well, grudge throwers are kind of not effective against what Zinch brings to bear, but can't quite say the same for the bolt throwers here, so working out decently well. Anyway, I do believe the balance of power has shifted to 100% in our favor, just waiting for the last of the demonic units to melt away and the last of the Chaos Spawn to be brought down under the Longbeard. Last of the demons will melt, and with that, the battle is ours. Sarthoriel has defeated, his faction not destroyed, but at least we're not in danger of him teleporting north towards our unprotected, newly acquired territories. And there we go. And our bolt throwers are going to make sure that the enemy heroes cannot escape. And just keep sniping them. There we go. That must be so irritating. There's like a little video or a meme with like a, you know, it's like, I don't know, not like a ball pit, one of those little obstacle parks or something with a kid that keeps repeatedly getting knocked down by the like arm of like a rotating, I don't know, thing, and that's what it reminded me of, basically, if that made any sense to anybody at all. Alright, there we go. A very nice fight, and relatively minimal losses against Sarthoriel. Once again, the bolt throwers in SFO certainly pulling their weight, knocking all those big entities down. We had Scarbrand, we had Sarthoriel. Let's see what else we can manage to add to the tally, as it were. Unfortunately, for me mostly, this battle had a crash in it, and therefore I had to reload the last quick save, which was before the big Skaven battle prior to this, so I had to fight that again, and then had to fight this battle again. There's I don't know, some instability going on with the mod or whatever. Not a huge deal, minor annoyance. I'm just gonna have to really try to keep up that habit of quick saving before every fight and really on every possible opportunity, so that if it happens, it's a quick reload. Oh well. I think this version in particular, there's some instability to it, because I don't think I had a single crash with Nikai or any of the previous Old World runs. So hopefully the next version will be a bit more stable. Anyway, we got 3,000 gold for our reward. We'll take it. Over the healing. Healing's minimal here anyway, and I believe the settlement besides Sarthoriel, who of course survived, is basically unguarded. So ransom those captives. Alright, there we go. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, etc. There's that Arbball defeat trait, though leadership and relatively small amount of vigor loss. Pretty mad defeat trait, to be perfectly frank, but oh well. Competent protector, creator for Thorek, constructor, enchanted shield, no need, at least not on you, at least not right now. And armor of destiny, now that's a nice find. Certainly gonna go on somebody now. And what do we have here? Talisman of protection. Certainly starting to get some items. Stonemason, another Dragonfire handgun, another Deepwood branch, and ambusher discovered. Ally missions successful. Ooh, that is worth our time. And technology researched. Good. We've been saving for this. Now we got access to the capstone for the guilds. We're going to start with construction guilds to get the construction cost and construction time reduction. And yeah, we'll start with that one, and then we'll move on to the others before, finding other stuff to do. Then Okay, before we do anything else, we got a deeps constructed in... Oh man, I gotta try to remember. We did this last turn, but that was last episode. So we got one here at the Ornate Great Gate, so we'll start you up. And then we'll immediately... yeah, we'll need to get the second level. So we'll immediately build the entrance halls, and we will immediately get the... I guess this thing. Yeah, we'll go for the Ruined Guild Foundries rather, here at Karak-Draj. Then we got another one somewhere. Good luck remembering where, Ruinous. It's here? Yes, it's here. Alright, and then you can be upgraded immediately as well, and then we can immediately upgrade you, and then we can immediately get the Ornate Guild Foundries, Ruined Guild Foundries, first to start as well. Then... before we do anything else, we're going to go into High King Decrees, and we're going to pop off that golden statue of Grungne for the bonus 2 Everguard. Expensive, but it is what it is. Then we have, okay, 25,000 gold remaining. Gold's running out, but it's all good. Okay, you are going to capture this location, and we are going to quick save it. And this better not kill off our slayers. Okay, no, we're okay. And resolve, and occupy, moment of truth. Yeah, of course, this time it's fine. Alrighty, province secured. Karaz, you've catch yourself another Monument of Grimnir. I'm not sure that we need this many. This is our, I don't know, third one, I think, that we've captured. Well, either way, go into Masters of Steel and Stone for now. We'll be doing the public order fixing here shortly. We'll keep the Foundry, mostly because it gives us a lot of different kinds of capacities. For the artillery, I will think about whether we keep the Monument of Grimnir, but not super necessary right now. And then we'll obviously build some stuff and undo some of the stuff here, including the... You know what? We'll get rid of the Dwarf Tinkerer's shops because they're negative control and they provide less money than the Scrat Mines anyway. And we can get rid of the clan barracks here as well. It's just too bad that we couldn't... Oh! Huh. Actually, capturing the organ gun thing here is fantastic because you can now recruit. They're not super expensive. I guess we could wait the turn, but... I'm not sure that we want to wait the turn. Alright, get... okay, wait. Gotta try to figure this out. I don't remember how many of the miners here are unnecessary and how many are necessary. I do know that the Goblobbers are going to Thorax, so we'll disband them from here. This thing, this Grudge Thrower, we were going to turn into a cannon, but it needs to be 2 more ranks, and we're better off just building a cannon, so we'll delete it as well. Yeah, delete it. Always a shame to see a unit go, but it's not like it's high rank or anything. Then we will start by building, say, 2 organ guns and 1 cannon, and we'll probably need at least 1 more. Can we build Thunderers here? We cannot. That would have been nice, though. We can globally recruit Thunderers. You know what? Maybe next turn. They will be reduced in terms of their recruitment cost next turn, so there is that to consider. You need to be rank... Yeah, we need to be rank 4 for those guys. All good. Alright, and then we'll see what else we need. Well, we will certainly need engineers here. Another Wayfarer. Good, but not for this particular purpose. And we got Dragon Slayers, and you already have a Runesmith. Now, Durak Grundadrak, you are severely damaged now, but probably still functional enough to continue moving forward, so keep on moving forward, bud. Alright. 5 turns left until the Age of Reckoning is complete as well. Okay, Thorgrim. Before we move, we need to build stuff here. So Kvinvir, we will build you for free. And then we will immediately build the Stonecutter's shop, and then we can't build the Sentinels here. So we will have the Sentinels thing, and then we could build the Deeps here as well. Actually, we cannot build the Deeps, at least not right now. Alright, start, I guess, with a construction site, and then... we'll see. It'll probably be turned... Oh, wait, no, we'll go for the Scrat Mine here, and then we'll see about other things later. Alright, then... we are going to move Mr. Gergrim Ironfist into Ulfar Norgrimling's army. Like so. Ulfar Norgrimling, you are going to... I guess March stance will be faster. Lightly. Alright, fine. Go into march stance, go here. We're gonna hopefully jump like this. You gotta get to Ungrim. I was thinking that it would be fast to go this way, but we'll see. Gotta carry Garagrim to him. Thorgrim, you're going to move here. Yes. And then we'll build stuff at Karaz-a-Karak, including the deeps here in one turn. Okay, so we'll wait until next turn to build it here and then in another place as well. Besides, we've got other buildings to build here as well, so we'll take advantage of it. Alright, so that's Thorgrim. Where are you again? Oh. You still gotta join this guy's army. Alright, keep going this way. How many settlements? 2. Oh man, hopefully it's not gonna be difficult to find his last settlement. I am tremendously concerned. Quick deal. Any trade agreements we got? Goldtooth would like to trade. I mean, does he own this territory? It's just generic Mountains of Morn? I'm not sure. That's Redmaw territory, eh? Still, while they won't like us attacking these guys, we might still want to trade with them and then eventually... Well, yeah, trade with them for now. If they want to break the agreement, make them break the agreement. How about that? And then we'll just replace it with another faction that we can trade with instead. We can trade with the Iron Skins, I guess. We don't necessarily need to move up here. I don't believe there's any Dwarfen special locations here. There was one all the way up here. Wait, up here. But it's a bit of ways away. So we'll do this. It might not be too bad to have a couple of Ogre allies, potentially. Plus, they seem to dislike the Chaos Dwarfs, which is alright in our book. Saberskin. Not as sure about you. You're friendly with these ogres, but you are, well... Yeah, we could get you... I mean, it's another trade partner, why not? As long as they don't make raiding camps in our territories. And them giving us 700 gold per turn is pretty decent. Alright, and Cult of Ulrich. The only reason we're not trading with you right now, because I'm pretty sure you're occupying territory in Norska that we want for ourselves, so sorry, but no. Joseph of Zorn. You should be hunting down... Oh, hello. This guy's willing to fight. He might be. The main problem is we leave Hagdar's lair. These guys will attack us. Can't be piecing out with them. This guy will obviously run. Well, you know what? Attack him here. And then maybe we can return to Hagdar's lair and then maybe even ambush this guy? I can still reach you. Just barely, though. And this guy would definitely be able to go here, and we wouldn't be able to move past this, and this guy would be able to return to Hagdar's lair. Again, we don't really care about it, but at the same time, I don't want to just lose it for no reason. Quick save. Almost got me again, game. What kind of armor do you have? Oh, you have the engineer's knapsack. Yeah, you keep hold of that. That's pretty solid in this army. Alright, like so. And you know what, since this... Oh, 720 money? Okay, I was going to do the other thing, but that's actually a decent amount of cash for our trouble. Income from post-battle loot, another archivist, good. Another talisman of preservation, good. We go after you, and you could run, but then we wouldn't be able to set up an ambush here, so we'll do this. Go here. I'm gonna hope that this hero isn't close enough to prevent it, but very well might be. Can't move yet, but we will be able to move eventually. Is this his only territory? No, he's got 2. And these guys have 1. We're kind of in a deadlock. We'll figure it out, I'm sure. Ooh, Rearguard Half-Hand has leveled up. You are trying to get towards Inquiring Mind. Until then, there's probably nothing that's useful here. Doesn't really matter. Alrighty. What about you? Do you have something useful? Get Iron-Willed. But not what I would call super useful. Alright, you two. Okay, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go here. We are then going to get a Lord online. We'll go for Vikram Burdrick, most likely. This guy with the level 16 is going to be reset and actually command the army. You are going to go here, into the settlement. And I guess since we're going to use you to recruit, if we go 1, and through Mason, we'll reset you again later. Doesn't matter. Into Iron-Willed, and okay, yeah, well, there's no way we're reaching Inquiring Mind, is there? Oh well, I guess just do Oath of Forging for now. Recruitment cost reduction, wait, fine, then do this instead. Iron-Willed does nothing for recruitment. Mason, oh, you need to be rank 12 for that, so yeah, that didn't change anything. Oh well. Pure Beard and then Iron-Willed. Alright, then you are going to start by getting a couple of Everguard with shields. And... wait, we can build 2? Why can't we build 2? Huh? I thought that the decree... Oh, was the decree +2 of each kind? It says +2 Everguard. I guess that means +2 of each kind, rather than +1 of each kind. That's nice. All right. I like it. We'll build them up, just to most likely transfer them to other units, and we'll need the gyro bomber for Thorgrim. Everything here is free in terms of recruitment, so we may as well recruit here. And with the bonus armor as well, so... Alright, deeps check real quick. You're nearly ready. You need to be upgraded, but we don't have the money to do so right now. And I'm gonna start forgetting where we have deeps locations, because it's starting to increase in the amount. You! All y'all going to hunt down Mr. Garricus Bardengard. Don't know whether we'll be able to reach Arbball's settlement here, and whether we can... Now we're gonna need to fight that, especially since we're damaged, and that's gonna mean more feral rage for us. Alright, attack this. Let's see. Oh, you guys want to be magical damaging? Nobody dying? Doesn't look like it. Auto resolve. Oh, I didn't quick save. Okay. Okay. We're okay. I think we might be so damaged that we have to take the healing rather than the money. Okay, we're okay. Alright, enemy killed in battle. Obsidian lodestone, not super useful for the dwarfs, I admit, so we'll probably delete that and turn to something else. Belagern Barra's Keeper has just got his... Wait, who the heck is Belagern Barra's Keeper? I have no idea, it's not this guy. Oh well. You guys are gonna move in here, and we'll take the Barrow of Malice. And with both of you guys as well to help out, we will reinforce in a second. And you know what, we'll leave this like this, and then we'll fight it afterwards. Let's get everybody else moving around to where they need to be before. Rearguard Iron Pick, Grimly Coral Seeker. Okay, so you have taken out Sarthoriel. Looks like no defeat trait from him, but oh well. Wasn't really expecting it. Let's get you. Okay, so you have the important stuff here. I guess we want to try to move towards a hack and slash. So grudges to settle. Alrighty, and then we'll hunt you down, sir. And we'll grab Fort Scaehold, and then we'll probably transfer it quick save, because I don't trust Arthuriel and his Zinch shenanigans. He already had one crash, and okay, I hope this doesn't actually kill off any units. Alright, good. And, decent bit of money. We'll take it. Ooh, other Trickster Shard. That'll be interesting in Thorek's army, since he'll be popping off lots of runes of wrath and ruin. Grimly's Grumbling Guard. You are also supposed to be joined by a Longbeard unit, which I'll take a look at in a second. I did ask you guys for name suggestions for the Bolt Throwers that brought down Scarbrand, and you are going to be at suggestion Dal Nolas, which I'm told means Old Reliable, which I really like. It's rare for me to think of a unit as a unit rather than a lord or hero or something to join the community canon, but I was so impressed by the 3 units of the bolt throwers standing in the face of being charged by the Cornate army and still bravely firing away that I gotta have these guys. So it'll be a community canon unit as well. And it can have a story. I like the name Old Reliable as a thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a story related to Scarbrand at all. Generally speaking, I actually avoid anything directly, like killing an enemy legendary lord wouldn't kind of work in a canon, you know what I mean? Because obviously the lord is going to be back, so yeah, just the name Old Reliable for the bolt thrower kind of makes me think that maybe this is a very, very ancient bolt thrower that's been around since the War of the Beard, maybe famed for bringing down dragons, elven dragon riders, that sort of thing. Anyway, we're going to capture Scaehold, which doesn't have a territory. And yeah, if anybody has suggestions for what the story of this famed bolt thrower crew can be, do leave your suggestions. But I'm going to quick save here before we capture Fort Scaehold, because it won't allow us to quick save most likely, because it is a... Alright, we'll occupy, and it won't crash. Okay. Alright, we will repair this. We're going to transfer this to somebody. How many territories does Sarthoriel have? He's got another 3. I really wanted to go to the Lair of the Troll King and deal with these guys, because we have to capture it. I mean, we could transfer it back to Sarthoriel and peace out with him. Because he otherwise could probably teleport it. Whoa! What the heck are you two Whoa! What the heck are you building? That's an interesting army. That's a really interesting army.
You know who I am?
How well is it going to function against Grimbrindle's specific type of army? That I'm not so sure about. He's got those troll hammers ready and waiting. Quarrelers, you're out. An engineer, you are in. What kind of engineer are you again? Harazi. Okay, so you can be... Oh yeah, I renamed you already. Airman, so you're going to be commanding the aerial aspect of this army, and then you are going to be commanding the ground aspect of this army. You just got to get down there and help out. Alright, Gromby, you're going to fight in a sec. Let's see who else needs to move before we do. Alright, Morgensteth Dealer. Okay, you guys are going to fight. To Rearguard Asgal, we'll leave you alone for now. Thungni of Zorn. These guys wanted to peace out. We can't have that as yet. You're going to move on towards the Slave Takers camp. Transfer it to these guys before moving on towards Horrocks Gap. We want to max out the full territory here. I'm really curious what faction... Oh yeah, it is Red Maw down here. And they've also got some territory here, so maybe we take this and then we peace out with them. They do want to peace out. We shall see. Not necessarily a faction that we're looking to specifically kill off, especially if it pisses off the ogres for no reason, especially since we got the territory that we wanted. Thorek. Free construction market. Build everything here for free. Oh, I love Thorek's rebuilding buffs. It's really nice and helpful. There we go. Scrat mines, and I guess technically this one needs to be upgraded to tier 2, and so does this one, but I think Thorek is done standing still. He's got to start moving and helping out against Kairos, or else Kairos will start beating back the western provinces. Oh, that also reminds me. We want to build some units from Boris, but to do so we need to declare war on these guys in order to get proximity, but to do so we need to get our units over there, so Grimly would have to go over there. Maybe we leave Fort Skyhold. I might even just abandon it. There's nobody we could trade it to, right? We can't trade it to these guys? No. So it doesn't really serve much purpose. I guess Grimbrindle could go down here to deal with the remnants of Sarthoriel's faction after he's done here, though at the same time, these guys are also running around, and that's not great at the current time. Clearly, we need another army, and I have just the one in mind. Malachi, that's going to be you. In a second. Let's get back to doing stuff in order, or I'm going to get confused again. It happens on occasion. Anyway, Thorek. You need another engineer. But I think the engineer that we saw isn't good for this particular purpose. Anyway, I guess you're moving for now. Jump on out of there. And go find some... That's a lot of Slaneshi. We'll deal with you later. Go find some of Kairos' stuff. We gotta knock Big Bird out. Alright, there's other buildings to build in probably lots of places, but I'm gonna ignore that for now. We've got other things to do and check. That's Thorek. Gotri Holdfast. Who are you again? Ah, you're this guy, and... I'm getting nervous about these guys running around here. Go to Oakenhammer and just sit there, and then try not to lose all your stuff. Kind of concerning that they're moving around through our territory, heedless of the fact that they're trespassing, though I guess the AI generally doesn't care about that. Cyanlet. What are you doing, man? Why would you do this? I don't appreciate this. Decent opportunity to declare war on the Skaven, kill off Cyanlet with Ungrim. Frankly, I probably should have reset him. I was expecting the orcs here to attack, but they decided not to do so. So we'll be proceeding to Fallen King Mountain next, or at least first, with this stack. And we should move Ungrim in to reinforce after we kill off this stack. I'm just going to assume that while we will probably lose Hell Cave, we wouldn't be able to lose Karak Drin because it's too heavily fortified, so that is at least for now fine. Let's also make the Toolmaker's Workshop and maybe the... Wait. If we wait for a turn, it would save us time and construction anyway, meaning there's no actual point to building any buildings this turn, because we'd be doing those anyway. The only point would be to build Deeps buildings, because... they can't be reduced anyway. And the main deep structure only takes one turn anyway, so we'll hold off on the buildings. At least that'll be a quick end turn then. Gotri Holdfast, we just checked. Yeah, Brugard Draxlayer, you're fine where you are. Malachi. Okay, so you... Want to build some goblin hewers, who now hit for 6.1k damage, which is pretty solid. I guess for now you're going this way. I really need to send somebody here. We could send you to hew some trolls if Grimly's busy here, but I was kind of... You know, let's head down southward first, and then we'll see. Malachi, go into encamp stance, go to the edge of Karaz-a-Karak. And you can still build those goblin hewers, though. Oh, and we'll get you long-drawing slayer pirates as well. Actually, before I forget, you can have long-drawings now. These two are going to Ungrim, so long-drawing slayer pirates. Like so. And you can get... 1, 2, 3. You need another engineer, which will put you at 19. 2 of these become engineers later on, most likely. These 2 become thunder barges. If another engineer puts you to 19 units, we'll need either a Thane or a runesmith, but we wouldn't have room for both. But nonetheless, either way, we can't do that right now, and we can't build more than 3 of these guys, so we'll just deal with this as we can. We can build the engineers everywhere, so we can get them moving over here whenever. Also build stuff here. Oh, right, I forgot about the time reduction thing. All right, so let's wait on that then. All right, so that was Malachi. Who's after Malachi? Where are you again? Oh, right, this guy. So you guys are kind of stuck where you are. I think maybe it's a bad idea to sit in Karak-a-Karak. We will repair it later, but you can sit in Karak-Kern where you're less likely to die, you know? And I am somewhat concerned about attacking these guys because they might be able to go here and then jump down to these territories. Though on the other hand, now that you're building an army, that should be okay. Oh, speaking of you... We can't increase the amount of units, can we? Well, we can. We can increase the local recruitment capacity by 2, but it's probably not worth the 50% income loss from our biggest settlement. At least at the current time. Yeah, just keep building those guys. It's fine. It's fine. Let's get everybody else moving. Malachi, that was you. You've moved. Rearguard doesn't need to move. And Ungrim. All right, Ungrim. Okay, let's do you. Let's just do it. I mean, they're right beside us. It's going to bother me not to kill them. We'll just auto-resolve it. Who are you at war with? You're at war with the Wargrove of Woe. Okay, fine. How much are you? Oh, wow. 26 and 15. Damn. They're doing a good job. Join war against Clan Grutnik. For 1.5k. It's better than nothing. This is Grutnik, right? Greenish? Yeah, Grutnik. Alright, join war. And then cancel. Most likely we'll have to be killing Draika as well. I don't know whether we have the goal to wipe her out, but, well, we very well might. You killed us real quick. I can actually evolve you into a Slayer as well. You can't evolve into... Really? Corlers can't evolve into Slayers? Every unit should be Slayer evolvable. It is known. We should probably pop these guys into Ungrim's army, but for now, just auto-resolve this real quick. Pop this onto, I don't know, the Doomslayers, because they're the only ones. Oh, I should have gotten the regiments over now, but whatever. Auto-resolve. Some damage to the Slayers. Hardly surprising I did not quick save it, though. But he doesn't screw us. And execute and loot. No, okay, we're good. Alright, enemy killed in battle. Another Slayer Ward. Thorgrim Burdrick. You're not going to need that. In fact, we're going to be deleting you shortly. How far can you move right now? Not super far, but Ungrim. I'll put you here. We'll put you in encamp stance, and we'll put you right there. We'll have you transfer everything to Ungrim for now. Most of the stuff is going to get deleted as we join the armies together, but for now, do this. And then don't follow, because I don't like your trait. Do you have any units, or no? Okay, goodbye. And then Ungrim, just so that I don't forget, you can have the Dragonback Slayers and the Brotherhood of Grimnir. And you know what? Since we're spending money on these guys now, might as well get the big old bomber for Thorgrim. Skyhammer Squadron. He'll need 1 more gyro bomber. Technically 2, but this one's going to evolve into a gyro bomber as soon as it hits the next level, so it's getting there anyway. And then the Everguard, and then that will complete his army. All right. Anybody else need to move, or are we ready to fight? I'm really excited about Grimbrindle's fight in particular. Oh, right, the Tech Thieves. Tech Thief 1. This one's coming back in 2 turns, so we'll... Huh. I don't remember. Do you need to... Oh, come on, man. Do we need to make capacity? Do we need to make room for the tech thief to come back? Or will he disappear if he can't? I don't know. Well, keep moving over here. Find us some nice Bretonians to make a trade agreement with. Man, the rats are really doing well in Bretonia, aren't they? And the orcs ain't doing too bad either. Alright, you. Trade. Military access. Do this. Give us your money. Tribute to the High King. Then you can have 1,200 gold back. Give us 5,000, we'll give you back 1,200. And we'll get you a defensive alliance. And get a permanent ally, and might as well go straight into military alliance and take some of that money back. It's not like they're going to be fighting anybody that we are friendly with, and it's not like we're really interested in any of the territory around here. Alright, thank you, Luan. Now, he should have given us vision potentially to more factions. Apparently not. I guess we reached the edge of the map there. Angrand and all the other dwarfs, we will be confederating you. Oh, I guess we can go straight into military alliance with Bordelot Errant as well. Just doing the military alliance thing with everybody now. And just for the additional allegiance, because, you know, we want to get some of their units as we're starting to ramp up the army numbers. Did just confederate Ungrim after all, and soon Belagar. Although their armies are already kind of baked in, they're kind of specific. But anyway, was that the last of the units? Wow, what the heck? Oh, those are the lords that we reset. I'm just going to ignore all of these. Alright, and Kadrin Drakebeard, who are you again? You are a Thane of the Tromac variety. You're supposed to be here. You're going to be transferred to... I mean, I guess you're going to ferry these guys to Thorak. Actually, not all of them. Just 2. The other 2 are going to go into different armies, most likely. I kind of like having... I like the idea of having one of the Everguard in several different armies. We'll even give one to Ungrim. He's armored. They'll call them the Armored Slayers. Anyway. Alright, I guess that's good. So that means we are able to fight this. Alright, so Gromby, let's level you up and let's get into it. What are we missing here that's critical? I mean, frankly, the Ancient Acumen would have been really helpful, but I think it's now time to start getting some buffs for his actual army. Oh, we'll also want the Mythical Longevity. It's for the entire army, the Vigor Loss Reduction, not just for Gromby, so that is good. Thane, you're not being attacked here, at least not right now, so we'll move into spoils, I guess, although you never know, we could get attacked, it's better not to risk it. You have Retinue Physician, and you have Wardbreaker and Rune of Hearth and Home. I guess because this army is more range reliant, the armor and the weapons aren't going to be as valuable, so or the armor and the, well, actually scouting is always valuable, but yeah, I think we'll do sharpened weapons for this one. A bit of range damage. Oh, we could also move through to Rune Master, though. Maybe we should move through to Rune Master. Alright, let's get some spell resistance for the army. Not that these guys will be casting any spells at us by the looks of it, but yeah, there we go. 2 enemy armies, both in march stance. Which one do we want to attack? I'm going to say the Feral Manticores because we can cause them to go into a rage and move towards us. Gromby, kill. To battle indeed. Alright, this looks like a real fun one. Now I'm going to forget to quick save it, field battle or not, and we're going to jump on in. Alrighty, let's have them indeed. We are going to move towards the enemy immediately with our gyrocopters and single gyro bomber and start a little bit of that aerial ballet. Air superiority must be established, even though we only have our 2 units and the enemy has 5 manticores. Oh, they've brought manticores to a troll hammer fight, and I think that's going to go in favor of the troll hammers, especially if we manage to force them into rampage and move towards our main army with the with the now plentiful regular iron drakes with troll hammers. Admittedly, perhaps a little bit annoying that the enemy, the enemy must be annoyed about this whole rampage thing, but we've been dealing with it in every single one of our bloody armies that's been fighting Khorne. All of our range units going into rampage due to that feral rage thing just constantly, so yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, first of the enemy manticores actually will be brought down. We're not even going to waste the volley to finish it off. No, Slanesh giggle with the gyrocopter with troll hammers. Instead, bring it down with the bomber, while the troll hammers continue ripping that manticore to shreds. Down to about half HP now and moving towards us. But A, the enemy army is in march stance, so they have no real hope of catching us. And B, the manticores, even without march stance, move at, what, 95 base value, so not nearly fast enough. Grimbrindle buffs the heck out of our units, and our gyro bomber moves at 160, and I believe our copters move at 200 speed, so they're not catching them. I don't know if they actually move at 200 speed or not. There might be some kind of limitation to it, but... Either way, I don't think they're going to be able to catch up to them since we're perfectly capable of moving away. And this time, bringing the enemy towards the rest of our army. The gyrocopters, or rather the troll hammers, have sighted the first manticore and get their first volley of proper troll hammers out. And here they come. And that's from the first unit, and here come the shots from the second unit, and down goes the manticore, losing half of its HP to a single volley from 2 units, pretty much instantly. The second one gets a little bit burninated, but manages to dodge, sort of accidentally, the first volley from one of the units of troll hammers while it shatters, and then the second one brings it down. I believe that's, 3 manticores? Now we've got 2 more to go. No problem at all. And that's a nice hit, and that will force the enemy manticore into a rampage as well. And it's going to go after the gyro bomber by the looks of it, which means we will be able to get another hit with our copters. And though, admittedly, as we saw how much damage the regular Iron Drakes do to these guys, there isn't technically even any real need. Though it looks like this feral manticore is in very bad shape, and we, at the same time, might not even need the rest of our army. Could just bring it down from the air. And this will probably be significantly easier to some degree when we have 2 of the gyrocopters with grudge settlers with troll hammers. On the other hand, once this gyro bomber's crew is eventually promoted to crew an airship rather than a gyro bomber, the airship will be much slower and thus much more likely to get mobbed by the enemy. Huh, wait a second. Melee defense is 17. Huh, wait, doesn't Grimbrindle provide the war machines melee defense as well? Or I guess it's just the Iron Drakes. I guess he just buffs the war machines with other stuff. I gotta double check what exactly it is he does, because these guys clearly don't have a plus... Oh, I think they have a plus 10. Yeah, other plus 10? Yeah, okay, that's it. Plus 20 is because the Iron Drakes double up on it, whereas these guys only get the single plus 10 melee defense buffs, but hey, it still serves. Anyway, I'm going to fire away to the Feral Manticore there, who is going to take a few nice hits, and it looks like this last Feral Manticore might not even reach our battle line. Gonna turn, gonna get a couple more volleys off, and it looks like this one's done as well. There we go, that was a lot of troll hammers. It's down to 608 HP, and then it will get brought down with the final volley. Nice. Alright, all the enemy air units are defeated, and it looks like that has sufficiently served to annoy the enemy army. The anthill has been kicked, and they move towards us, starting with their units of marauder horsemen with javelins and throwing axes. The ones with throwing axes have the throwing axes on the back, even though they look like exactly the same as the javelineer guys, because they still use the javelins or spears or lances, whatever we're calling these, as their melee weapon. All good though. It will take a little bit, or possibly a little bit longer, to bring these guys down with the Grudge Settler and Gyro Bomber. At least compared to a brimstone gun, as we've seen the brimstone guns tear these guys to shreds in seconds. But again, just slightly different specializations, even if there is some overlap in terms of the units. I would be interested to see a competition between the Grudge Settler gyrocopters with troll hammers versus the brimstone guns against those manticores. See which one can kill a manticore faster. There's also the fact that the troll hammers become less and less accurate the closer the enemy gets, because they're sort of a homing missile type of attack. But anyway, it looks like the first of the enemy cab units will back off and we'll simply target the second. I'm going to speed this up a little bit now, as it's been long enough, I think, that we've been skirmishing with these guys, and it's time for the enemy to make its way closer to the rest of our army. Gonna get a few more of those shots off into the enemy main stack, into the enemy trolls. While the main stack gets ready to move on in, there we go. Our Grudge Settlers Iron Drakes have targeted the first of the enemy infantry, and it looks like the enemy Lord has drawn close to our Troll Hammers. I'm pretty sure they hammer away at horses just as well as they do trolls, and here comes a nice volley. Let's see. He's got about 90% of his HP. Maybe half of that volley hits and explodes all around, and he loses about 25% of his HP. But that's only the one volley, and we got plenty more where that came from. Here comes the next, with a few fire at wills by the looks of it. These ones aren't homing by the looks of it like the Trollhammer gyrocopters are, but that's alright. The enemy Lord is moving slow enough to get brought down without any trouble. Alright, infantry still getting burninated, and the same situation is going to repeat itself over on the left flank as well. Another he just disappears under the fire. Oh, the chariot is a much bigger target than the horse, hence less shots went wide. Alright, not enough trolls by the looks of it to simply fire away at trolls, but yeah, we can... Oh my, that poor marauder. Looks like the missile resistance from Weather the Storm is not going to help you here. And yeah, that does seem pretty accurate. The getting hit by the troll hammer torpedo, just taking off your top half. That seems about right. All right, looks like a unit of cavalry decided to move close enough to get hit by the blasting charges of those iron breakers. And the burninating iron drakes continue to do the whole area denial thing and prevent the infantry from moving towards them. Marauder Berserkers going to try to make their way uphill now, but they've got a long way to go, and the closer they get, the more dangerous. Thunder is now adding the fire support to the, fire support. And if they get any closer, they'll start getting blasting charges hits. We also got those troll hammers mowing the enemy down periodically as well, and I don't think that's gonna fly. Alright, and ooh, we got a few hits from the Scolder Guard as well, the sort of steam expulsion ability they have compared to the regular units. There we go, wanted to see those in action a little bit. And it's yet another unit of Marauder Berserkers. These guys certainly brought a lot of Berserkers, but they don't seem to like steam, they don't seem to like fire, and they don't seem to like Trollhammer torpedoes. Can't really blame them. At least when you're getting hit by them. There we go, a bloody and brutal end for those Berserkers. Looks like a unit of Marauder Spears also gonna try to move in, but probably no more effectively. Ooh, a unit of Trolls is managing to actually close the distance with Grimbrindle, only for a second, mind you, before they shatter and get absolutely torn to shreds by the troll hammers. Same situation is repeating itself on the left flank. We also have a really good position in this particular battle, as we have this little hill which protects our center and allows all of our range units, our iron drakes, to fire over the hill and then down upon the enemy below. Alright, all you need are fire and torpedoes, though the enemy is starting to hit us back with those javelins, and we'll probably do a decent bit of damage as they are armor piercing. And I've said it before and I say it again, the Marauder Hunters with Javelins are definitely not to be underestimated. Although I'm sure we're heavily enough armored that they're not going to be too crazy of a threat. I take it each individual troll hammer basically brings down a individual unit, but with, 100 models per unit, it's going to take a while for them to do that sort of thing. Not that that matters over much, as it looks like with that, the enemy army will break long before being able to do anything to our neat little formation here. Alright. That was a pretty fun hold the hill moment, and it certainly showed off those troll hammer torpedoes and doing their thing. They will eventually be joined by some dwarf engineers as well, as in the unit, not the hero, and that will more or less max out this army. And I gotta say, probably one more Grudge Settler Iron Drake flamethrower variant as well. Anyway, a really, really fun fight. While they're not quite going to act as melee, it's also pretty... You're almost there. There you go. And I believe I saved, so... of course. Alright. Of course it doesn't crash when I remember to do it. Only when I don't remember. Alrighty, Gromby. Now do we level you up? You got 2 levels out of that one. Actually, we could get Ancient Acumen for additional recruits if we wanted to. It is faction-wide, and we are recruiting now, but at the same time, we're not recruiting a lot. I think we're okay. Wait, why am I looking at Grimnir's heirs? I was thinking about the Slayers that we're going to recruit. We want Fire and Fury for Gromby in particular, and yes, we want his own buffs as well, but it's not super relevant right now. Fire and Fury to buff his Iron Drakes. Nice. And the engineer, you will most definitely want to get your buffs, in particular start with triangulation, as this army is not one that's liable to run out of ammunition super quick. We have spare longbeards and we have spare hammerers, as well as a spare flame cannon, and a spare quarrelers with great weapons. And now I think we don't have capacity for Grimly, as he's at 4 out of 5, meaning the structure in Karak Peaks got completed. Okay, so that means we can get rid of this miner unit. And we can replace it with the second unit of Longbeards with great weapons. Grudge Settler variant. And, too bad these guys can't go in the middle of them. And we should probably get a unit of Quarrelers with great weapons for Thorek as well. Actually, I don't remember why I didn't do that earlier now. Do we want another... Well... I mean... I was gonna get rid of this Thane anyway, right? Yeah, you know what? You can go down into the army in the south unless we... Oh. Okay, I guess it'll have to be next turn unless we delete you. Or reset you. What's our Thane capacity? It's at 12 out of 12. There's no more Tromax, but if we do want to put another one in another army, then I guess we do need to reset him, but it's rank 14. It hurts. It's just that it feels unnecessary to get ballistic plating on Thanes of all units. And actually, you have pretty decent stuff here. You know what? Let's wait. I guess it's not going to make any difference. But let's see. Oh, we got another fight. I almost forgot, and I almost ended the turn, and I have a bad habit of doing that, but it looks like I just managed to catch myself for once. You're going to grab Deathwish. And this is the reason, or one of the reasons, why I think that there's no point in having Demon Slayer command the Ranger army, because, or slash Goblin Hero army. The capstone of the unique line for the Demon Slayers doesn't include the Goblin Hewers. So it gives the bonus versus Argent, bonus versus infantry for the various melee units, or melee adjacent, well, hybrid as well, including the Slayer Pirates, but doesn't do anything for Goblin Hewers, which is silly. Just give this to one of the Hewer crews as well, and then it'll be better. But that's why this guy's going to command this army as soon as he's rank 10, which we're getting to. Anyway, rest of the... well, maybe we can get a requisition at least. A little bit more in the way of... points there. The rest of this probably isn't super necessary before we fight, so I think we're just gonna fight. Alright, Pyrrhic victory. Lots of guys, and once again we will have to deal with that bloodletter summoning endlessly. Well, that's just the nature of fighting Khorne, I guess. Let's quick save. And let's jump on in. Alright, here we go. If it's not feral rage, it's bloodletters being summoned right in the midst of your army. Darn those coordinates. But what can you do? At least plenty of slayers will be happy about it, as they'll find their doom at the hands of the blades of those bloodletters. And it looks like we did manage to surround them with our regular slayers quickly enough so that our goblin cures are not too big in too big of a threat. We don't want to lose any of them until they fired off their volleys. Alright, there we go. First unit of bloodletters is out. We're also targeting the enemy cannon tower, which is a tier 3 or 4, I believe. And we certainly need to bring that thing down before there it goes. Tier 3, and before it can do anything. And I was hoping that the shots, now that the tower had been brought down, would sail right through it or by it and hit the Chaos Warriors of Khorne out there instead. Oh well, all good. Well, we've got axes for that particular purpose. Surprisingly, though, we don't have Shield Breaker on the throwing axes, though, so it might warrant picking up something that gives us Shield Breaker. Do engineers? Yeah, engineers do give us this, though. A decent argument to then be made for having 2 engineers in this army, which I was already planning to do so anyway. Anyway, gonna get a few rocks lobbed into the big ol' enemy formation here, mostly while we wait for the next of the enemy bloodletter summons, and here it comes. Can't be moving away from our artillery pieces until both of the bloodletter summons are gone. The AI is, however, you know, wasting these things by doing this at this time. Otherwise, we would have had to support our artillery in advance completely differently. AI could also wait until we're engaged with it in order to pop these off, but it's just really always been bad at using up the summons. It's just that the Slaneshi Demonette summon and the... do Nurgle? Okay, I don't know. I don't remember about Zinch and Nurgle, but Slaanesh and Khorne both have the summoning ability. Or is it the Dark Elves that can summon the Slaneshi units? Anyway, that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that those guys are a lot more threatening than something like Clan Rats from the Menace below. Anyway, time to move on and take up formation and see what enemy units want to fight to play with our units of axe throwers. Speaking of, first volley of axes will go after that enemy Blood Reaper, though it looks like with the smaller model, most will just sail on by, and the Blood Reaper will call a few doggos to come and help out. I'm gonna take a few hits as the doggos move on in, and we gotta be careful as our own axes will be quite dangerous to our own units as well. This is definitely one of our armies that's going to need to get that rune of missile resistance, the aura. Because it's gonna be, we're gonna be taking a lot of axes to our own units throughout the campaign with this army. Though admittedly, and at the same time, the bonus range offered by the Overseer might be making it a little bit less likely, or at least allow us to melt a few more enemies before they get to our lines. Even at the cost of the reduction of damage to the Goblin Heroes. Anyway, there we go. Chaos Warriors of Khorne pretty much destroyed as they move on in. A shield breaker not needed this time around, as the shields have been rent asunder by volume of axes instead. The Chaos Warriors of Khorne may be a little bit easier to drop than the Bloodletters, which are going to follow up as well with that physical resistance on them. Same thing happened over on the right flank, except with the addition of the Ulthar's Raiders Rangers and the sort of bigger complement of troops, and by the looks of it. Alright, well, axes keep on flying and enemies keep on dying. That's the motto for this army. Alright, it does look like they're certainly committing a fair few enemy units here, and that's why we're going to pop off both the Ballistics Calibration and the Master Rune of Oath and Steel to bump up our armor and our melee defense. Both should be pretty darn helpful here. And again, I do think that this army would do nicely with a War Drum as well, just for the additional armor on the Rangers, as I do think that would be useful in times when they're actually forced to fight the enemy. And melee, I mean, they're always fighting the enemy, but yeah. Alrighty, and the Bloodletters, Exalted Bloodletters I should say, keep on attempting to push forward together with their Flesh Hounds, but we are still providing an avenue for our Goblin Hewers to fire away. Gonna activate Glorious Death now that we have it available on our Slayer. On our Slayer Lord, I mean. And what that does is prevent Slayer units in particular. Doesn't do anything for the Rangers, but prevents the Slayer units from dying for whatever time the ability lasts. Alright, our Dragon and Demon Slayer still in the center of combat as well, whacking away at those, or hacking away at those Flesh Hounds. Especially since we've now, by and large, started to run out of the Goblin Hewers ammunition. So, I'm gonna start sending in those Goblin Hewers into melee instead. Alright, tactically not much to say about this battle. It's essentially a choke point battle with two separate choke points, both kind of repeating what's going on both sides. Our Goblin Hewers and regular Slayers have now peeled away and trapped this enemy chariot, which will get shattered and might or might not get brought down, but I suppose it doesn't matter because I don't think it's coming back. Bounce power's at about, let's say, 80% in our favor now. These guys are fighting as well, but at least this time without Feral Rage to annoy us, we can reposition as needed a lot easier. And besides, it's not like this army doesn't want to fight in melee, we just don't like to be forced into it by the Feral Rage at a time that is not of our choosing. And there we go, the Goblin Hewers have all run out of ammunition now and are heading into the fight to join the Rangers to apply Bleed together with the Rangers Crippled. And that's a decent set of effects. I wonder if we should use... We have at least one Asp bow on or in our set of items that we've got. We could also give these guys poison if we needed to. Though I guess if we were to give the poison because it's a bow and it's range damage, it would be better on the Engineers, but then the Engineers would lose the shield breaker. Oh! Actually, there is another army that could probably use that, though. The Gunnery army has plenty of shield breaker available because of all of the gun units doing shield breaker anyway. So the Engineers in that situation wouldn't need to do it, so that's probably a good use for it. I gotta try to remember. Alright, well, either way, the bounce power is pretty much 90-95% in our favor. Not much remains of the enemy. In fact, I think the only real unit that's still fighting is this one unit of Skull Cannons, and it's not going to be fighting for too much longer either, as it gets brought down by the Axe Storm. And with that, I do believe the enemy army shatters, and the battle is ours. Arbball down to one settlement now, and is going to have a bad day. Yeah, it's very strange seeing the Coronate units without the Coronate Sky occupy a vampire territory. I guess a little bit of fire all over the place will make the Coronates feel to some degree more at home, but yeah, still odd. Alright, there we go. I gotta say, this army turned out to be the perfect choice to fight Khorne, because this army lives on the edge of an axe blade, and the fact that the Khornates are frenzied, dangerous units, and so are we, just really working for me. Though the Khornates, of course, are heavily armored, where in this particular case we are not. Nonetheless, really enjoying this one. Anyway, we're gonna occupy the place, and okay, we're good. Post quick save. And Gold Sigil Sword, we don't need that. We'll turn it into something we can use. You're rank 8, get into rank 10, which is what we wanted. Ooh, that reminds me, I wanted to check whether we had any interesting new lords. Vengeful Dowie Tactician, we already have one of those, which is waiting to get a new army. Now, Speed for... Hey, another Overseer. Okay, we'll get another Overseer on the field. I guess here. Just to level them up. The Overseer will take command of a new army in a little bit. This is the one I'm going to make into that super long-range troll hammer thing, and we'll combine it probably with some artillery. Seems like an organ gun type of situation. Yeah, especially since we're not going to have a crazy amount of organ guns in the other army. Should be real interesting. You just sit here and leech XP from these guys while they fight. This army will only have the 2 organ guns, and then the rest will be cannons in combination with the thunderers. And we'll see what, or different thunderer types. We'll see what we can do in terms of getting other units from other factions in that army as well, as I'm interested in it. Alrighty, we could fight a quest battle, but I think while Gromby is up here and dealing with stuff, maybe we want to hold off. And no, I guess in this turn he's also damaged, so yeah. Alright, can't wait for the entrenched engineer to join up and increase the power of those units. In fact, while we're here, flash bomb, break open the casks, deadeye, ballistics calibration, and I'm gonna say, I don't know, triangulation. Yes, we should get to the improved mobility as well, but we'll do it in a little bit. I'd love to spend the Oath Gold, but we're about to have 0 as soon as we spend the 3,000, or finish spending the 3,000 on that, so that ain't gonna change right now. I guess that's an end turn. Skip. Oh, wait, one other thing. Ignore this stuff in the damaged buildings. Hero not moved. Kadru Drakebeard, who are you? Oh, you're actually not supposed to move, so you're fine. You're supposed to join an army. I would like to see, not quick deal, but this. Alright, ally missions. Gusark Doomtamer, we'll take you. And get missions from everybody for doing so. Oh, Ice Court, we're up to 42 now. Looks like that means we can build an outpost. And the outpost we will build here. Any Uragan guns available? I really wanted to try those out. They would work nicely with several of our armies, I think. And it's a new unit that was added recently that I've never seen before in SFO. Okay, no air guns here. But I guess out of all the outposts, we should probably build it in Kislev itself. Hopefully they tack up to them. Huh, Kislev has most everything. This version does have the Uragan guns I checked. I think it's some kind of odd building that allows you to build them, though, so maybe that's the case. Anyway, starting to rack up some allegiance, which is perfect. We still have a fair bit of the Karaz Ankor to conquer. We're only about to finish our first legendary grudge. There are others. Anyway, here not moved. We'll ignore Deep's upgrade available. Ah, right, I wanted to take a look at that. Not this one. We will want to upgrade this, but next turn we're going to be building a lot of buildings. We wanted to take a look at the one in Karakate Peaks. So Karagloon, and then it's either we spend 10,000 gold to freeze the Age of Reckoning, permanently paused while the building is present. It would take 1 turn to build this, and it'll cost 2,000 gold per turn, which is limited, but I would like to complete this building. Maybe complete this age. Maybe complete this one and delay the next one for a little bit. I mean, we did get this one done a little bit quicker, but we have gained like 30 territories since we started this one, so I don't know how many grudges the game is going to ask of us. And I would like at least some other grudge settler units, I guess we're not going to do that right now. Alright, let's, I guess, start building this one. Recruitment cost reduction, upkeep reduction, and +1 grudge settler unit capacity per army. Which is good, but we actually need the grudge settlers to, you know, get them. Yeah, alright. We might later demolish this and replace it with this, but, you know, probably not right now. Anyway, that's good, and I think I checked all the other deeps, the new deeps that we've acquired, and we've got 2 more deeps to be building. One in Karak Azul and one somewhere else, and I no longer remember where. But for now, let's end the turn. The ambush worked out, but this was not one that we need to bother with. It is a pile of forest goblins, which, admittedly, you can make into pretty insane units, if I recall my Grimgor campaign. They were being about as effective as Blackworks at one point, just because of the application of that lethal poison. Once you get them tanky enough, it's quite a lot of additional damage, just by poisoning jerks. But they have no chance against a Jartrom clan army. They'll just get burned long before they reach us. We'll quick save in case it crashes again. Frickin' Sarthora, hell out of resolve. And take the... I mean, we barely got damaged. We'll need the money this turn, and we're in our own territory, so execute and loot. And I found the other... Huh. Well, I found their army, but we didn't find their territory. I assume they're not holding territory together with these guys. The annoying aspect of this is that we have nobody to protect Spike Peak right now, which, I mean, what can you do? It's a minor faction. Looks like these guys have declared war on us. I was going to avoid fighting them, but I guess we'll send you around, Snorri Morgrimel, to deal with them. Alright, fine. We'll call our allies to help in the hopes that... Okay, hopefully they don't cancel our agreements. No, we're okay. Ah, looks like Ungrim's level 20, so he gets the... No, that's a Grumbrindle. Huh. I guess Ungrim didn't level. Alright, fine. Grumbrindle has another quest as well. Good. We should probably get one of these going soon. Just need Grumbrindle to stay there for a moment. You have a gyrocopter now. But in this army... Wait, one of you should be on a gyrocopter and one of you should not. You are a gyrocopter guy. Well, actually... Maybe you should both be on the gyrocopters and come back to the main line. You know what, I will keep that for now and then I'll think about it. As one does. Creator Grievous. Construction cost and construction time. Unhappy populace. How dare you, Mount Squighorn. That is the rudest thing I've ever heard of. Let's next get... I guess Dwarfen emissaries. We want to increase the allegiance with our allies as fast as possible to get to those units. Yes, we really do want Grand Throne Chamber for the additional population surplus. Nah, you know what? It's one turn. I think this will actually be better. Contradicted myself real quick there. But anyway, Thorgrim, you are to start. And... because the little line is still red. Go past this. We need to build stuff. Wait. Do you have a stonemason on you? No, but you should. For about 5 seconds, because we're about to build some stuff here, including deeps. For free? No, not quite, but still pretty good. Like so. Builder's Guild is free, though. Iron Smelter, the various mines are free. And... what do we want to build here? I guess we'll do a trading depot in the Lost Archway of Valleya. We will want to build another... I mean, we should be getting... Yeah, I think trading depots are going to be much more valuable than the Stonebread Bakery. Yes, plus 30 growth in one territory is good. Plus 2 growth in all provinces faction-wide is, in total, much more than plus 30, meaning it's more valuable. Granted, it doesn't generate direct money, but the adjacency bonus is still probably more valuable than getting another one of those Stonebread Bakeries. And eventually we'll need to replace... I mean, we only have them in a few territories, but we'll need to replace them with those. What was I doing? Alright, you, move. Thorgrim, get moving as well. You're gonna hit Grudger Mines, and it looks like, yeah, we'll have to kill these guys, because I'm willing to bet they're not gonna part with... Wait, Krakazul is our territory. They're not gonna part with these places. And this is part of our underway network, and they're not keeping that, that's for sure. Go. See what we got here. It's not Queaky. Quick save, and... occupy. Alright. Alright, Ankor's Icon, another powder maker, and now they're down to 2 settlements, or 1 settlement? They're down to 1. Where the heck is it? This is Clan Carrion. Wait, Karak 8 Peaks? Whoa. Meaning their settlement is here at Gates of Nagashazar? Huh. Okay, go figure. Alright, fine. You. March stance down here. You're gonna have to reclaim Spite Peak as soon as these guys take it, because there's not much we can do about them taking it right now. I mean, I guess... Man, it's a tier 2 settlement. Wait, what do we have in terms of available Grudge Settler units here? Oh, right, before I forget, we need the hammers and the other army, but, well, wait. Ooh, also, wait, we got 1 Deeps building constructed, and there was another one I wanted to build, but I cannot for the life of me remember where it was. Karaz could do it. Where is Karaz? It's right here. Yeah, why not? 8.4k, might as well get these up and running. I'm 99% sure there was another one, though. Oh, I know, it's Kirtaman's tomb. Yes, it's right here. I mean, there's other good stuff that we could build there, but pretty decent place to build another deeps. 8.4k, it's expensive, but, well, you can't have too many deeps, I guess. Alrighty, then we completed the deeps construction in... Oh, man. In a few other places, meaning we can start building... Huh? Why did these unlock? Weird. We can start on this one. The fact that they provide debuffs, but it's... there needs to be like a separate menu so you could just view the deeps locations, because... Wait. I mean, all you have to do is put an icon beside each location that has a deeps. Please, devs, please. Alright, so Mount Silverspear has one. And we built one at Black Crag, but I think that was before we needed another one somewhere else, and I no longer remember where that was. Alright, well, at least build a ruined counting room. And then I'll try to remember where the other one needs to be constructed, because we need it. Also, we might as well upgrade that gold smelter and the mine. Oh, you're in King's Tribute rather than construction cost reduction. I mean, we could probably reduce the construction cost. Oh, yes, we should. Alright, fine. We have a landmark there. Masters of Steel and Stone. We'll get back to you in a bit. Let's see who else needs to move. Joseph of Zorn. You are going to want to wipe out these House of Zark Chaos Dwarfs. You can't reach them immediately, so you're going to go into an ambush stance and you're going to go right here in front of them. Who knows, they might decide that Hagdar's lair is free real estate, despite very much not being. Ulfar and Orgrimling. You need to go down here, so I'm going to just pray that if we send you here, you'll be able to jump over the mountain and go there. If you can't, you're going to have to go the long way around, but you got to deliver Garagrim. You got to deliver Sunny, boy. Alright, now, how many territories do you have? 1. No, 2. I lied. I could have seen that here instead of checking it that way, but I didn't. And now I'm embarrassed. Alright. Moving into Bone Gulch, I don't imagine Arbball will be back. And since he has kind of a meta-fee trait, I don't think that we care. Alright, so you guys go here. And y'all gonna follow. They're not gonna attack Snorri anyway. And you guys just keep on hanging around and leveling until we're ready to pawn off this army and then start transferring those slayers. Also, before the age ends, we will need to make sure that we recruit what remains here. Well, mostly just the hammerers. And I guess the Longbeards somewhere. I have to figure that one out. Grimly Quarrel Seeker. Alright, so... assuming that... we have dealt with Sarthoriel for now. Hopefully. Or do we try to... I really don't want to deal with him here, and we need to take this before Boris does. He's looking like he's going to be able to capture Ormskaro. Oh, or is he? Oh, he might have lost his main stack. Oh, that's not good. No, he's right here. He's definitely going to take Ormskaro. In fact, it looks like he might have sacked it already and then allowed these guys to move. He should really be fighting the scaling than doing whatever it is he's doing down there. Yeah. Alright, so if you can go this way, you can deal with that faction. You just need another engineer. Or we briefly send you down to deal with Throg. As a new army. Might be fun. Alright, fine, we're gonna send you down here. And deal with Throg then. Alright, you can travel in March stance a little bit further. It does mean not building anything in the Spirit of Grugni, but I guess we'll build stuff next turn. We have Metal Slinger Engineers. I did put a Metal Slinger Engineer in another army, but I don't remember which army it was. You, however... you need the Gyrocopter one, so that's not the right one for you. Especially since you have, you'll have a fair few of those war machines, so that's not going to change. Grumbrindle, you are going to take Winter Pyre immediately. And then move back down southward to hopefully find Scar... oh no. It's going to crash. It didn't. Okay. Ah, okay. Well, it could have. This was the exact moment I thought that it would crash, because I didn't check that it was, you know... I didn't have a garrison and thus could not be... You couldn't press do nothing, and you could... Which is kind of weird. And you couldn't do anything about it. Anyway, we are going to get rid of one of these Thunderers, which we're in here as temporary units anyway, and we're going to pop you in to get entrenched for the Iron Drakes. Fantastic. Alright, you'll get your other gyrocopter with Grudge Thrower. That would be a nice gyrocopter. A gyrocopter with Trollhammer in a bit. Anyway, who still needs moving? Thungni of Zorn, you need to auto-resolve the Slave Takers camp. What do we got here? 3 turns Confederation. Gonna quick save that. Which didn't take several seconds, but anyway, occupy, and we're still okay. And this one will trade, so we don't really care about it. Now we're going to occupy Horrocks Gap, and then we'll try to peace out with these guys. Or wipe them out. I don't know, think about it. Greasy is going to be really upsetty about this whole thing, but... What about these guys? Are they upsetty about it? Not really, they don't seem to care. They're just friendly with the Greases, they're not friendly with other random red mob ogre faction. Thorak! You're gonna find Kairos again. Go out here. Wait, would it be better to travel in march stance? It would not. Underway stance it is. Go. And it looks like Jiao Ming decided not to take Yusak camp, so we'll take it for him and then transfer it back to him before moving through Withered Eye territory towards Kairos. We'll wipe Kairos out, trade all of his territory to Jiao Ming, but maybe keep the petroleum here at the Trails of Hashut. Maybe possibly even keep these little mountains here. Only a possibility. Not that it's completely necessary, mind. Alright, Gautry Holdfast, you are staying here. I don't know what Katra is doing, and I don't know what Akka is doing, and I don't trust either of them, but there's not much we can do about it. You are costing us cash, but you're also holding some units for us. So's this guy. Yeah, alright, just keep holding him. What is this engineer again? Oh, you're a wayfarer, right. We could actually send you... Well, no, we can't send you out. You don't stay here. I was about to say send you out to steal tech from Castle Drakenhof, but you don't actually have points in these things anyway, so we need to reset you anyway in order to do proper tech thievery, so we're gonna have to wait on that too. You are good where you are. Ah. Thorgrim and Elmador. Oh, where did the orcs go? Thorgrim, you can reach Fallen King Mountain. Hopefully not gonna be a Fallen King about it. Alrighty, let's move units in then. Probably they're gonna go and take Hell Cave or Rib Peaks, but we need to just do this anyway. You are currently at war with nobody. You're about to be. Thorgrim, attack. Declare war. Call our allies to help, not this time. Because we already called, and then I don't want to overdo it because they might freak out. And I really don't want to lose the allegiance if that happens. Alright, we got one more turn of Confederation and Celebration, so next turn we will be doing a quest battle. Thorgrim, you are about to get some units. Can we evolve any of these guys? Not you. We can evolve the regular Slayers, at least one. Okay. And we got one Grudge Settler Slayer. Alright, let's figure out who we want to transfer. This Master Engineer is an Innovator. Doesn't really need to be in this army. Okay, and what about you? Dragon Slayer. Well, we can keep the Dragon Slayers in here for now to essentially... You should get hardened armor. To essentially take the places of the Dragon Slayers that we're going to have in there later. Oh, well, including Snorri. Alright. Move on in. Then we will go for... Lose all the range stuff. And the Dwarf Warriors. And the basic Slayers. Lose the Engineer, and I think you're at a higher level. Oh, but this is one of the guys that we need to delete. Put Snorri in, then put Slayer, Grudge Settler Slayer. You're not going to be using Slayer parts, they're kind of range units, so we'll just pop in as many Slayers as we... Oh, that was not all the Slayers. I guess we could take this guy as well. Like so. And then you, like so as well. We'll delete those in a bit, but I want to make sure that we do this like that. Alrighty. Then we will want to make sure that you, at least, one, are evolved into a Doomseeker, so that we actually have some Doomseekers. There we go. We got the Dragonback Slayers, we got one Grudge Settler Slayer, and I think we can't build any more, but we'll be able to ferry them over. This, I imagine, should now be auto-resolvable. Very much so. And we have sufficient Slayers that it looks like they won't die. And who knows, maybe we'll take sufficient damage that the other army will come a-calling. Oh, I do like that we have another Grudge Thrower, Grudge Settler unit here. Forgot that these guys have Grudge Settler units as well. I mean, auto-resolve and not actually a lot of damage. Nice. Occupy Fallen King Mountain. You move very, very slightly forward. Ooh, you know what I should have done? I should have actually sent you down here to Rib Peaks. We'll march stance and move you past it afterwards. Another Dwarf Bride for Thorgrim, and not for you, though. Alright, and Drekken Ridge is this territory. Okay, so you're going to go into Steel and Stone. We're going to rebuild stuff next turn, so let's delete those. We are also going to... Alright, I was going to build stuff here. Let's do this because we have some dyes and some stuff that we at least want to get upgrading. And then we can switch back to the other thing. Trading Depot, and then switch back to High King's Tribute. And then one of you... Oh, you already have the Dwarf Bride, right? Yes, alright, so that means this guy gets the next Dwarf Bride. You have Mason maxed out, you have Oath of Forging maxed out, Dwarf Bride should be up here. Alright, perfect. Alrighty, and okay, I've kind of lost where we were. Alright, down here. The rest of this is fine, we'll keep moving these guys around and slowly evolving them, I guess. Maybe that's better than just going over here and recruiting them. I'll think about it. Once Karakadrin is maxed... Oh, actually, speaking of Karakadrin, we should max you out. And this thing. Toolmaker's Shop. You know, I'll take a look at those maybe between the episodes, or maybe not. Depending. Well, let's see who else needs to move before we go. Guthrie, hold fast. Oh, I already checked you, my bad. Don't worry, I'm gonna reduce the number of lords or rename them to things that make sense as soon as this situation is fixed. So that we can get all of these 3 or 4 lords out so that they're not in the way. What? Then it'll be a lot less confusing as to what the heck, who the heck I'm talking about, because I don't even know who I'm talking about in terms of the lords. Would you stop failing? At least he hasn't critically failed, but that's twice in a row now. And we really need that tech thievery, man. We're paying a lot for you. Kadrin Drakebeard. Ooh, do we have the new lord up and running yet? One more turn? Yeah, one more turn for this guy. Alright. And then Scout Silverhorn, you have found the Bretonnians. I don't think there's anybody else here to find. I guess we could sail out here, see if there's some lizardmen. Nope, it looks like they're dead. Nonetheless, sail out here, who knows. Somebody might be alive that is worth trading with. It's not like we are looking for any mountains up there. In the same way that we're looking to wipe out Skavenblight. Okie dokie, and I believe that's it for this turn. Now, were we besieging anything? I don't think so. We were waiting for this guy to move on, and I was briefly considering maybe putting some stuff at Spite Peak, but I'm not entirely sure what we'd want to... Okay, wait. Let me just see. And just put Norgrim's Iron Breakers in here. It would probably cost more to replace the buildings than anything else. Longbeards, hammerers. No, hammerers need to be elsewhere, although... Yeah, that's a long way to travel. They'll need to go into an army, but that army will be ready long before the hammerers get there, so I kind of don't like that. Also would prefer if these guys didn't die. Also, we don't have a lord, so we'd have to pay 4,000 gold for the lord in addition to what we've got there. That's a bit on the expensive side. If we... Wait, Overseer? No. Just taking a look at the lords. If there's one that we want necessarily, but not really. You know what? We'll just rebuild it. We have the technology. Skip outpost. Hero not moved. Outpost upgrade available. Damage building. Deeps upgrade available. It's the same one as... Oh, actually. No, this one we do need to build. The guild foundries. Absolutely do. And there was something we need to build here as well, and upgrade this. Oh, it unlocked it again. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how these work. Or maybe it's a bug, who knows. Still should probably be building these underdeep mines everywhere though, because it's a lot of decent Actually, out of these two, 10% tradable resources and 20% tariffs faction-wide, or a bunch of different resources. In theory, this might be better. I'm not entirely sure. Go for the Underdeep Mine. Whatever. Ultimately, it's not going to matter over much. Let's end the turn. Another little ambush for Joseph of Zorn, but obviously this army is not worth his time. I do believe this is the guy that we had the quest for from all of our allies, though, so that's a little bit of allegiance our way. Heal up to full. Alright, there's Ungrim's quest. Yes, alright, we're gonna have to start doing these quests. I think we'll start our first one, well, next episode, as we were gonna wait for 2 turns, and we're down to 2 turns now, which is perfect, up to 38,000 gold per turn as well, which is looking good, though I'm now forgetting where all those deeps are. Eventually, I'll probably start dealing with them between the episodes, because I'll have to just constantly keep looking for them. And why did you revive here? Okay, go up here. Oh, right. You were here. Yeah. We got you from an ally, so go hopefully steal some tech. Barundan Stoneheart is ready, and he's going to be renamed to King Azrael, because he is going to go north with his Frostfire army. We should also now get the Frostworms from Kislev up and running. He's going to go north with his Hammers and his Frostfire army to reclaim the Silver Pinnacle, which generates quite a bit of money. Actually, speaking of generating quite a bit of money, we really want that bright gold mine. Bright stone mine. Gold is also bright. Among other things. Anyway, alrighty, well, it's a new turn, and I think I'll take care of some of the admin this time between the episodes, so I think this is probably a pretty good place to call it. I was thinking that if we had a fight here, then we would fight it, but apparently we do not. We only have 3 more turns of this army. Move past this. Queek. Oh, I wouldn't want to fight Queek with this army because we wouldn't want his defeat trait. That's not great, but I guess, yeah, he's down here, so we're gonna need to head towards him. What are you doing, Kalash? I know why I was doing that. Bone Gulch. Oh, we're actually going to need to fight this next episode. Fair enough. It'll be another fight for Snorri Morgrimel, and hopefully that'll take us to level 10 with Dwinbar, and then they'll be able to switch, and then you're going to start carrying all those guys, or ferrying all those guys to Ungrim, and we'll get the other grudge thrower in here, either from you or from one of the other units. Anyway, calling the episode here. Next episode we'll do a quest, maybe 2 quest battles, depending, as we might also confederate Belagar next episode as well. Ungrim has started his army. It's not quite there yet, but it is already pretty Slayer stacked, and so we'll be looking to get him his first proper fights, whether they be during his quest battles or with his fights with the orcs. We'll be going after Throg, we'll be going after Scarbrand with Grumbrindle, and just keep on reclaiming the realms as we've been doing. Pretty fun campaign so far, but I'm still thinking there's a fair bit more fun to be had. So stay tuned for more, and don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.